well rested and ready to go, which just means that we're going to see them at their absolute best, which means we're just going to see the best games.
Yeah, we have 2 matches, and one of them is good enough to be a grand final of the regional league, the GCS in Chinese Taipei. The Korean team AHQ played in it this last season, and they unseated J-Team, who were expected to be the champions. So, J-Team have a little bit of a revenge narrative coming in. If they can win out this match, I think they reclaim some of their stake to their home region.
Well, let's see if they're going to do it here. We're going to get into our first match in just a second. Starting off, of course, with that draft. I can't wait to see what these teams bring to the table, because we've seen this interesting dynamic occurring around one hero in particular, and that's Elsu. Elsu has been a pick, or a ban, a pretty common ban in a lot of these matchups, but so far in the matches yesterday, he's been this weird sort of bait. It's interesting.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like nobody has quite figured out the exact versatility of Elsu. And I don't think it's fair to say that Elsu is overpowered. I don't think Elsu is quite as broken as people think he is. But I think it is absolutely fair to say that in the right hands, Elsu is unstoppable. And that strange matchup where people are still kind of figuring out what are the right hands for Elsu, where do you want to play him, and since we've settled on side lane Elsu being the best option, then you get to the second phase of, well, are we running auto attack, basic attack focused Elsu, are we running snipe focused Elsu? The net result seems to be if you can get him out ahead, it doesn't much matter because you do so much damage. But he also seems to kind of spike mid-game. We saw him fall off towards late, so nobody's quite sure how to use this new character, and that means that the ban phases are flat out insane. Because you either ban the Elsu and run the risk of wasting a ban on a character that isn't that good to begin with, or you waste your ban, you spend your ban to ban Elsu, and then you maybe let something through you'd much rather not face, like a Val.
Elsu is a feast or famine kind of hero, in my opinion. You either do really, really well with him, again, he has that mid-game power spike like we've seen, or he doesn't get out ahead. He either takes way too long to activate in the late game, depending on how you build him, or he just doesn't hit his snipes and doesn't seem super impactful. It kind of feels like a wasted pick. So he's definitely one of those heroes that you have to linchpin your draft around. One of my favorite uses of him yesterday was when they built him more into that basic attack focus, where he was able to just push down towers. He was supported by Benneth in lane. And then he didn't really do too much in the late game. He kind of fell off going into that build. My personal preference, I think, would see build him more into that push style to start, and then transition him into a late game snipe focused, carry. That I feel like would be my personal preference on how he's been played based on the games where he's found success so far.
Well, we only have one player who's historically played the character. He's over on J-Team. Wins has picked up Elsu. AHQ have not yet touched him. Wins made him look good.
Yes, the whole squad enabling that, of course. Benny, Wins, Star, Neil, and Yuzon. That's Star side lane player as well. But we have to talk about a couple of these particular matchups. And the first one we have to talk about is that support.
Yeah, Benny has been so good for his team. His Bennett, his Alice in particular, point the term Bennett or your Benneth.
Yes.
And I think that's right, because when he was playing that role, he was able to find so much extra zone. The Alice is very, very good for that as well. Because you have so much extra control, you're able to flat out dominate lanes, dominate any exchange, if your support finds the initiation. If your support, the Alice Hissy Fit or the Bennett Nature's Realm, is able to establish the ground upon which the fight will be had, then Neil, who plays sustained damage, wins on the Elsu, can sit behind that support and deal infinite damage.
Yeah, Neil for sure, one of these players we've seen step up in a big way, but it's off the back of Benny here. He has to be the player you look towards. As you said, it's his ability to zone, his ability to create space in these fights. As you said, sort of create the ground on which his damage dealers can execute, and I think that's a great way of putting it, because he's really, as much as the tanks, as much as the frontliners are there, he is that enabling factor on his team. You can see his stats here, 2.57 KDA for support is pretty impressive, and that's the Benneth, the Alice, like you mentioned, coming on through. There's a reason these heroes are highlighted here in gorgeous augmented reality, I might add, because he does so much work on these heroes.
And seeing him play the Alice has been really interesting for me, because I'm not a big Alice fan these days. So the fact that we are seeing the Alice actually explode into the meta and explode into competitive is brand new for me. The number one thing about the character is it's so disengage focused. Compared to many other supports, the Alice can't take any damage. But if the Alice uses her abilities right, she completely mitigates that by being able to zone
to
back the
Arena
attack.
of Valor.
Yes, and that's something we're going to keep an eye out for. Alice has sort of stepped in to take some priority in that support role that we haven't seen. Group stages coming out.
What are these guys doing?
Those top picks, the Ignis, the Elsu, the Richter are still prioritized, but some changes have definitely been made as we look over on the other side of this match towards AHQ, the Korean Overlords. You have to talk about how skilled these players are. Every single, we can highlight any single one of these players, and we'd be right in doing so.
I'm going to highlight one, though. I'm going to make the firm choice. J-Jack.
Yes.
The team captain and the hero for this roster has played so well in that support role. Here against Benny, he may feel pressure to adapt and take this play. Ben is good. Alice, not particular. He's got a good Alice, but it is not one of his core characters. And if he pulls it out here, he's doing so specifically to take it away from Benny. But he's one of the few players who might be able to do that.
He might be able to do so. His Annette as well is oh so stellar. We've seen Hurricane Walls that have changed the faces of games. His essence of the wind timing is frame perfect.
At AWC, J-Jack said that he was going to retire, the team was going to go their separate ways if they didn't win the tournament. AHQ won that tournament. Now at AIC, he's famously said that if they don't get top 2, they're retiring.
Those are fighting words.
Well, for anyone else, they would be defeated words. For AHQ, it's a mandate.
It is, and the rest of the team needs to follow suit. I look towards Rush in the jungle as well, a player that we have to continue to talk about. As the contrast on the field, Rush has been someone who all day long, well, all season long, has been performing at an incredible level.
Neil has been a very good sustained backline damage dealer for his team. J-Team has thrived because Rush being able to play so many different styles has benefited their team because he can do that, and he can also just occasionally be the most powerful character in the game. Scale incredibly far ahead and be the key damage, the only damage for his roster. And sometimes he pulls out this Batman.
This Batman, wild. His most pick number 1 here we're seeing on the statistics. Because when he pulls it out, he makes it work in situations where it should not. Yes, Batman, we talk about the early game potential of this hero. Somehow he makes it work late game. Not all the time, but sometimes he's able to make it work in situations where it absolutely should not. Pair that with stellar like this. Just terrifying to see when everyone picks it up. The way he utilizes her passive looks like no one else can do.
I'm not a big fan of his Batman play, but it's not, it is definitely not something anyone else does. He picks up the character and utilizes the Batman's mobility and invisibility in order to use it as a scout towards the lane. It doesn't matter if Batman's damage falls off because he never plays it for that sake. He just uses it as a scout and then as a team fight aids as best he can. And hyper late game, that causes trouble for his team because they do not have the late game damage to win team fights. But mid to late game, he certainly still contributes to fights, and he's finding extra zone control.
And we combine that with AHQ's impeccable macro, just gives their team a leg up in their rotations, and that's oftentimes where that team seems to be at their best.
This match, of course, was once again the GCS Summer Finals, and AHQ went down at the beginning of that 7-game set, and they worked it.
What's going on, Will?
A familiar story for AHQ.
Yep.
They did manage to win out that series. Now they'll have to do it again, this time.
What are you doing?
We're looking at these win percentages here. Buy side, 69 and 50% respectively over at HQ. But 3% win on the blue side for J-Team. That's interesting.
I'm curious as to why that is for both rosters. AHQ going against...
He is slow as fuck. I don't have boots yet, though.
A lot of people typically think that the draft on red side favors you because you
He's really slow and clunky, but he's tanky as hell.
Of the initial picking phase. But here on blue side with first pick, I think they benefit from that tremendously because they always do seem to finagle the draft so that they're able to get an incredibly strong first pick. And then they draft normally, consistently very good. We've only really seen Team Flash beat them in draft.
Yeah, that's really so interesting to me because they are literally the only team in the top 4 who has a higher win percentage on blue side, which means that they must look at the draft fundamentally differently.
Hey, we try and analyze their draft. Certainly bears that through.
Yes, and now we look towards the Abyssal Dragon statistics as well. Smaller, or I should say, less pickups for both teams here than we've seen from a lot of others. Only 2 dragons a game for J-Team. That is surprisingly low. Normally we're seeing teams sitting around this 2.5 mark where we're seeing HQ.
Fewer dragons for both teams. They both can play very control-oriented, so late game
Got him.
aren't necessarily something they're picking up, because if they get late game, they're in trouble.
It takes like the whole game for me to kill Bird, dude. It's fucking retarded.
So I expect these Dark Slayer numbers will be a little bit better.
That's why I don't even bother. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm gonna help these guys.
If they don't manage to get that Dark Slayer, if they don't manage to get that game closed with the first major objective, then they're probably going to be choked out.
He's so goddamn tanky, though.
What's interesting, neither of these two teams have an opponent here who typically...
And once you get Hermes boots, it's not too bad.
Both these teams
I forgot to get him
lost
first.
Team Flash in almost exactly the same way.
It's interesting to see how both
I love like the augmented reality shit they have for.
play a relatively similar style, obviously indicative.
Is this
of
like
what
a? Well, dive it, fellas.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they go head-to-head again. Will they try and mix something up? Will they try and do what beat both of them respectively, or will they both just go head-to-head?
No, I missed that hardcore.
Matchup to try and take it home.
Kill them all.
Pseudo-regional trial.
AHQ,
Oh, don't walk right back into his ultimate, Thomas.
definitely changed their playstyle upon addition to the GCF. It's been, I think, very good for them to have very high-level competition.
Don't just run, he's gonna just pull you.
And they do play fundamentally different from how they did the AWC, but if they go back to the playstyle that worked in the AWC, that doesn't necessarily solve their problem, because, as they said at the AIC 2017, 2018,
Yes.
they lost a lot to sideline, or to the Vietnamese teams who were able to outlane them. So the Korean rosters did not play well when they played the Korean style into Vietnam. They did not play well just now playing GCS into Vietnam. I'm not sure that they have a solution. I'm not sure that either of these teams have a solve for Team Flash.
Well, they've had last night to look it over. They've had 24 hours to take a breath, analyze some drafts, go back into it. They have a support staff there behind them, as you can see, and coaches, analysts, everyone, a whole team is behind them.
And I will say,
Dennis.
got knocked down lower bracket, they prepped for the grand final. They prepped for the lower bracket match. So
That's confidence.
we'll see if they have that same confidence here. They've already beat J-Team once. J-Team's hometown nonetheless. Let's see if they can do that again.
They're going through a tough opponent. Yes, both of these teams are on either side of the bracket right now, but they are still in top 3 position right now. They are still one of the best Arena Valor teams on Earth going into this first game of the day, which should be getting started so shortly here. Now, we've already identified...
Fuck, she's so fast. The only thing he sucks is it takes forever to do his shit. Oh, Tulin.
Respectively. If there was one other player on either one of these teams that you had to highlight, you had to take a look at, who would you do?
I'd be talking about the bot lane, because right now you have a matchup between the Finnies and Sun. And they play very
I'm dead as fuck.
Sun is very tanky side lane. He'll build up very aggressively farm and push into the empty jungles, just to live them. Twins kind of the opposite. Playing squishier characters, a lot of Marja, a couple Elsus, they'll farm up
Dennis.
team and do team fights.
Contrasting styles there.
No.
Game number 1.
Like you take so much aggro and it takes you so long to kill him, but
Being denied now from J-Team. Valheim.
you would have been getting free damage off in there.
Taken off the board for HQ.
They all would have been targeted on me.
It does indicate that they fear wins on it. Was why it was their first battle. They also get rid of the Valheim again, the side lane, very strong for J-Team. J-Team are going to ban out.
And he's already got
typically threaten their style.
4 stacks for his passive. That's pretty good.
Compositions. That means Richter is terrifying. That was their one free pick though. Because they also needed mandates to ban out the Ignis. That means first pick is pretty obvious for AHQ. I'm going to go ahead and get a Lindis. I'd look for a Raz to be under threat here as currently
Your
from
team has
first
destroyed
damage
a
mage.
tower.
And that's kind of what this composition or this matchup is expected to revolve around. First damage, because both these teams traditionally play lighter weight characters that can be one-shot by characters like Raz.
Yes, and Raz oftentimes paired with the Superman here, which we have seen Yuzon play quite a bit. But the Violet, identifying this jungle prioritization early, combining that with the Raz, actually, this is a pretty solid pickup here from JT. Yes, a very early jungle pick.
Delanis!
Already done the same. So they don't get banned or picked out of that position right there.
I mean, I guess, yeah, the towers got to get handled, but...
I like that, identifying that Yuzon is such a threat on the hero, and obviously it pairs so well with that Raz.
Yeah, that's not what I call.
Though, they could, rather than Superman themselves, not counter, pick the counter.
Because you got the Omen in your draft, then if JT picks the Superman, you already have the solution.
Yep.
And if they don't pick Superman, then you're fine, because Omen's still a pretty good all-round character. So they're able to give their sideline, in this case, probably Chase with the Omen. And I think that's a very, very strong character for him, because it plays into the lane. Omen is very good lane clear, very good dueling. He needs someone to play on Yuzon like Lubu. Yuzon does play a very good Lubu. He does like those sustained melee characters. So look,
an enemy has been defeated.
For sure. Lubu is a spare skill matchup here, and that is what we block from J-Jack. Wouldn't be surprised to see Alice when we grab the Betty, because the flex and the better potentially. We're oftentimes seeing teams trying to match each other role-wise as much as possible here.
An enemy has been defeated.
But I think it's
Get him, fellas. Like, they can't kill me, it's so hard. You can't CC him when he's using an ability, and it takes him forever to use an ability. And then he gets a shield when he uses the one ability.
Right now when AHQ happens, a relatively early game competition, it's going to spike mid-game. Lindis will do well early, Annette will do well early mid, fall off towards late, and that means that AHQ, perhaps, if you can gain a little bit of control against them in the early game, which we've seen be a consistent weakness, then J-Team can benefit, and the advantage of Mina is especially early game if she gets out ahead, she functions...
Look how fast I am now. Fucking zoom now. Get out of here.
It is indeed early on, no surprise ban out there from J-Team. Superman ban coming out from HQ. They pick the counter and then they just ban the heroes anyway, so still don't want I think that's...
Fuck, I was in way too deep.
Trying to
I went to help them, and then they just died and bailed.
So they're banning out against Dive with the Flash Liliana from mid, and they've also got a Mina, and they've also got
Mina,
Raz.
Violet, Raz, Lindis, Omen, Annette.
About Rush playing the Batman, I think, and it's also kind of curious because JC don't yet really have that squishy backline I'd really worry about protecting. Violet is definitely on the squishier side, but she's also got more burst mobility than most backline marks. Because her tactical fire, the roll, keeps her safe.
Oh, you guys need to retreat.
Typically, as long as she times it well, has good defenders.
Having good defenders so key to keep that key squishy alive, and it's just because Rush already has his flex the Lindis into the side lane, where they'd be going for that. 4 side lane bans coming out so far from HQ, targeting Wins and Yuzon respectively, with that Lubu ban at the end there as well. Marja, of course, still able to come in, no question there, but they're identifying that they need to grab that right now because J-Team is a rough spot in terms of side laners here.
Yeah, J-Team.
Marja or Malik, it's one of the two here.
So I'm looking, I was assuming that it's going to be chased on the Omen, so then the only
Delanis.
that really can come through is either Flex.
What is she doing?
Or you pull through, given the ban, something really aggressive with stuff. Now he does like aggressive characters, he also likes tanky characters. So
Shake, you gotta just shake your head sometimes. Like, yeah, okay. Whatever.
That's true, that is true. Kali was exactly what I was expecting coming out here from Hawk. They're just going to sit back. They have no reason to try and dive into everything, all the counter dive the J-Team has banned. Or picked put together there, I should say. Kali, I like this. Hawk has played a fantastic Kali so far. And I think Malik rounds us out, giving them an additional bit of front line. Quite like that, but it is going to be the Zennial.
Where's our fucking...
Alright. Still tanky, still mobile.
So, I don't know if these split, but yeah, I like it. So, the Kilgroth is very, very good into both these characters. He is sustained.
Legendary.
He is sustained with his Core Lord to survive anything Omen can give him. He is CC immune And also outlane to Zenny, because he has really strong pressure, and I believe...
Okay, there's this...
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure the knockup on it would interrupt that challenge blender. So if the... he's got really good lane clear, regardless, so if the Zenny will challenge blender out of lane, then the Kilgrim can kill so many minions, he gets to tower and gets some free damage.
And something to note here is that there isn't a whole lot of outright CC being picked up here for either side. I mean, you have some, but not these crazy full CC compositions for both teams. Yeah, you have the Dark Dominion. And you have
Your team has destroyed a tower.
That's it. On the other side, you have Valiant and Death.
Guys, take the tower.
Still not a hyper crazy CC. So there's going to be a lot of mobility, a lot of juice going on in this game. Now that there's a lot in these team fights, something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on.
That's why J-Jack likes the map so much, especially in a matchup like this, because
An
Annette
enemy
has
has
a lot of
been defeated.
denial of abilities. Wind comes
Double kill.
How people are being a bit troublesome.
Yes. The wind cuffs is what I'm really looking towards here. A well-placed wind cuffs in a key team fight can absolutely change the course of it. Two players locked together, stunned out, especially with the amount of alien damage going to be coming in from AHQ. That can be crucial.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
For anyone new, the wind cuffs, you landed onto your first target and you can projectile in a line after you land the first target. So if it attacks another person after landing on the first target, then it draws them together. Now hits. They're tied together for just a moment, but that's long enough and abrupt enough.
Hey, GG.
So if you have good stun and good damage, it becomes guarantee your kills.
Win.
And now we're getting into our first game here, TJ. First game of the day and our first match here. The finals. Loser's side of the bracket, the winner will go on to the grand finals of the AIC. The loser, just go home.
Not too far for either of these teams. Chinese Taipei, where both have resided for the last season of play in the GCS. So, not terribly far, and we'll see if they can hit that mark again. AHQ, again, the champions of that match previously.
They were the last time those teams fought in that epic, most epic of stages, absolutely. But of course, they're on an even bigger stage here for the AIC, and neither team is going to want to start things off on the wrong foot here. I'm going to watch for some, I don't want to think too aggressive plays to start things off. I think there's going to be some moments of feeling things out, but the second one of these teams gets an inkling of what the other is up to, I expect things to get a little bit more aggressive.
So, he'll be poking out against Yuzon. Early game, he'll win this trade. Once Yuzon gets his second and third abilities up, he'll lose quite hard, and oof, stars here as well.
A Gust Force pulling back with the Death Spec, and it's a fun little combo right there. A lot of CC keeping them in that damage, because those win, they do quite a bit of Gust Force, I should say, does quite a bit of damage early.
Especially if you're in the center of it. That AoE slow that comes out the Gust Force, if you land the center of it on someone, it does, I think, 2 or 3 times the damage. So it's very important to place it correctly, counter to many AoE abilities that, you know, you just throw it in the general direction of your opponent. If you land a well-placed Gust Force on a net, you do significantly more damage.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons she has such a high skill cap as a support hero. That and the Wind Cuffs, all about being able to hit your skill shots. And that Hurricane Wall as well, because not only can it push, put yourself in an interesting position, it can actually push your enemies away, it can save their lives. It is a very high-risk, high-reward ability.
J-Jack. They'll be trying to burn through them, particularly on use of those Hurricane Wall towards the late game. Ooh, Rush might be experiencing a bit of that now. Neil already doing significant damage.
Yeah, that tactical fire rolling right on through. Keep an eye on that. But it's interesting to note how Kali is going to synergize here with this Annette as well. They have quite a bit of natural synergies in their kit, lining up enemies for that ethereal pulse. So we're looking towards this first Abyssal Dragon of the game. Already both teams resetting that, kiting it back. Just wanting to make sure that neither team can really get set up on this major objective.
I've been talking a lot about how I think Annette falls off lane game. And that's kind of a new theory. I've developed it over the course of the AIC, and I'm very proud of it. And it's because of what I've continually seen, actually mostly from J-Jack, who plays a very good Annette, but is consistently unable to make the character find the same value he finds early into late, because you're very rarely taking those isolated 2v2s, 3v3s, where that guarantees big damage if you can tie 2 people together. Oftentimes you're in full fights, and tying 2 people together simply isn't enough to convert.
is there. Ooh, and if Benny had his Dark Dominion, I think J-Jack would have been not walking out of that one alive. But again, tying two people together is still valuable, but as you said, yes, in these big, chaotic, brawling team fights, something that sometimes is not quite enough. But that's the synergy I'm talking about there, right in lane. Ability for Kali and Annette to just drop down all that AoE damage, just rip right through that minion wave. It's allowed the Annettes to rotate pretty freely, and the Kali as well now. Adding that additional level of support as Yuzon is under threat up here in the top, as the Abyssal Dragon is also getting picked up simultaneously by J-Team, totally uncontested by AHQ.
J-Team win the map positioning, now they get J-Jack quite well.
And they're forcing out that Angelic Splendor to try and keep him alive. The Wind Cuff goes through on the back of the Ethereal Pulse, but the minions are there. Benny to try and body block for his teammates, so J-Team going really positive in these trades.
Yeah, it's a very good opening phase because they are able to get not just the Abyssal Dragon, but also they rotate Star up top to hold the top lane tower, which is what AHQ were distracted by, and they find a whole bunch of extra poke in mid. That's basically everything they wanted. It's a Christmas shopping list.
It is indeed. They're just checking off all the boxes. AHQ, though, are still doing a pretty darn good job of farming. They're only behind 200 gold, despite the fact that we do have that Abyssal Dragon going the way of...
What's going on, Hillary?
AHQ, we talked about how well they farm. If you leave them with their own devices, it's tough to deal with because they just seem to find so much gold on the map.
That's why HQ don't always play hyper-aggressive for the first and second major objective, because they are confident in playing defense, and that's what they've always done well. They play defense till the mid-game, then they activate, and they get towards the point where the key characters are far enough ahead that they just know they can win fights. Now, the games they've struggled in have been either on one of two cases. Either they get to that point, they take the fights, and they lose them, or they get to that point and they realize they can't take the fights because they haven't won the early game.
Yep.
And they haven't farmed well enough that they are actually ahead. And then they just, it feels like, get trapped where they don't quite go for the fights that they ought to because they don't know they can win them dominant.
And that's maybe one of those problems there, is that sometimes they take risks, but oftentimes they are quite risk-averse. Unless they know pretty convincingly they can take a fight or are truly in desperation mode, they don't take it, as now a fight is breaking out in the mid. Rush getting pushed all over the place, using the tread softly to try and get himself out, but he's face-to-face with the Raz in the jungle. That is not going to happen, and that is first blood going to J-Team.
Rush commits into the enemy jungle there, knowing it's very unlikely he gets away, specifically to save J-Jack and maybe secure revenge.
Benny getting pushed back underneath that tower with the Hurricane Wall, but J-Jack put himself a little bit too far out of position here as Hawk is trying to go in and get him out alive. The Ghost Walk to secure the kill. Wins is there, trying to get a little bit sassy with J-Jack, and it cost him his life.
2 kills there to J-Team. They'll punish it as well, getting a lot of ground gains. This is probably another Abyssal
Really?
over to
My Wi-Fi was always laggy on my Switch.
This is always the thing I love so much about the way.
I had to buy one of those Ethernet
Stars, a big
cord
part of that. There's a reason his
connection
Raz is so
things.
highly contested.
So I get hardwired.
This is the fact that they always go for kills right before major objectives. They never allow their opponents to go into these on an even footing. It's part of the reason why they get so many of these nice early Abyssal Dragons. I mean, you combine that with the fact that AHQ likes to play passive. It basically just gives you free map objectives over the J-Team. They could take this if they wanted to.
They
What's the link?
want to be able to clean up their own jungle while they have a man advantage and then rotate through. They probably don't quite feel like they have enough burst damage with a Violet to take out the Abyssal Dragon before a full
It's good, man. These teams are good.
Now Benny might be in trouble.
Or it might be the other team who's in trouble. The Angelic Splendor does come through, but it is AHQ, the flank, very much alive from Star.
This is the losers final, I think, and then whoever wins this game plays in the grand finals. This is the best of 5 series, and the finals are best of 7, I think.
That fight was over the second the engage started, because Benny gets 3 players to dump damage into him, then Dark Dominions, which doesn't just force them to
Although it's 6-0 for J-Team right now in this game.
From leaving and gives him damage reduction. So there's no way Benny doesn't survive, and he ties players in close to his location. Neil rolls through, finds the kills.
And finding more kills even now. Hawk's just wandering through the mid right there, thinking he's perfectly safe, but no, J-Team hyper invading right there. Watch this back again, TJ.
So, because Benny gets this sick Death Sight and Dark Dominion, he's got the damage reduction, this Angelic Splendor.
They play everything on mobile.
He doesn't have enough to answer, because it's a burst. One short burst of damage reduction and healing.
I don't think they can.
The rest of the team are there for the long haul.
I'm not sure, though. They might be able to use those peripheral controllers, but I kind of doubt it.
The crowd control is absolutely flawless. It's being chained perfectly, and wins every single time he shows up in a fight, he does so much damage.
Yeah, the benefit of having Fanny or J-Jack on your team scales more than, say, a typical support. You don't need to build as much CC because you know there's never going to be a missed Dark Dominion. There's never going to be a missed Wind Cuffs.
No, it's really not happening. That they have so much utility just built into their kits that they are allowed to just power. They don't mind having less gold because they know that they can use what they have at their disposal, and their carries can use it so much more. Level 13 already for Neil versus the level 11 for Rush. That is
These are like the two the teams that were favorited to win the tournament, and they're both in the losers final right now.
Aggressive into the enemy jungle because they found every time they found kills, they've doubled down on invading. That's how Neil's built out such an advantage.
They're both pretty good though.
I really like it because we were actually criticizing
pretty damn good.
They could have gone for Abyssal, instead they opted for Invade. And it was just because they feel it's more important to deny Rush farm and get it to Neil than it is to get an overall gold gain for their team.
One of the things I've noticed is the second their own jungle minions spawn again, they are back up, clearing those on cooldown. Yes, maybe they could have gone for the Abyssal Dragon there, but that would have left time that was up and remaining for those monsters that they can keep on clearing. So they're just trying to optimize their farm to a perfect level. Zuzan is now going in on the Rush. The Angelic Splendor is there. Dark Dominion does not connect. The Death Sight is enough to secure the kill.
I just want to play Irie.
Coming through, and again, a pretty major pickup onto Rush, who's separated, and there's no real way even for Chaser to save him.
Oh, and now Hawk is sitting in the back. He's starting to do a little bit more damage there with that Ethereal Pulse. He's still a long way from feeling hyper impactful in this fight.
What the fuck?
Which is very fun on Kilgroth because it not only does it apply slow to the enemy, but it speeds you up for every basic attack you land. Kilgroth, of course, most of his builds are built around using the basic attack as much as possible. His arms get very swole, and he swings the pike as often as possible, meaning that he's able to just accelerate through people and lifesteal and get maximum benefit from his ultimate.
Oh yeah, I mean that's really one of these optimized builds.
Ninjas are obviously
so
superior.
He's been a great distraction. He's been super involved in these team fights so far, but he's been keeping AHQ occupied enough. And he's 1-0.
Yeah, they use their phones, but I don't know if they can use controllers. I don't think they would anyways, but...
They're up all the way to the high ground tower on that side of the map now. He is doing his job 100%.
Like I said in the draft, he hard wins versus the Omen, and we see that here.
Oh, Sun.
All the skill in the world, what do you do here?
Chaser goes in with the Angelic Splendor, tries to keep him alive. The Malleus to escape the shields as well, but the Death Sights are more than enough damage, and it's a tickle coming in from Hawk. He just does not do enough damage yet. J-Team are so far ahead, 10k gold at the 11-minute mark. The levels, the items, they have more than enough to deal with what AHQ is throwing at them.
I don't think I've ever seen him play Kali.
TJ, quite frankly, a stomp.
Yeah, this is J-Team.
Quite frankly, a stomp? Yeah, it's 10-0 right now. They're 10k gold down. I would say that's a stomp.
This match yet, because it is only game one, and AHQ have a habit of perhaps losing early parts of sets and then making adaptations midway through. What did J-Team do right this set? How can AHQ learn from that? It won't just be in between games they're thinking about it. It's right now. They're going to be poking and prodding and figuring out.
I wonder if we see a Violet Ban.
I almost feel like these Alice picks have been a bit of a bait from Benny. I almost feel like he's been holding. He's drafted the Mina before, but I feel like he's so good on this pick. Every single as I call him out, he instantly misses the spell. That's of course how that works.
But it was zoned. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because the tower's still going to fall, and he's untouched. There is no AHQ is at half HP, and JT. Second high ground tower falls. Gogoth trying to do the same on the other side. The minions pushing it on the core. This is very likely going to be GG right here. If one or two more members falls, Chaser tries to go in. The Ethereal Pulse is in the back, but they're trying to get these kills. Are able to get two, which means the key damage dealers are not necessarily going to be here. Hawk going clutch.
That is the minions now arriving though. J-Team are looking for the game, and Hawk.
Yeah, they can't stop this. 3 people down.
Going in right now is Wind trying to find this.
4 on 5 on 3. 4 on 3.
On the core, and that is very likely going to be it right here. But the minions have fallen. Hawk did a great job of clearing it, but it's not enough. J-Team take game number 1.
That was an astonishingly strong performance from J-Team, all things considered. I expected them to go up early. To be frank, I thought this game 1 would go their way because
teammates are going savage on these guys.
In this specific matchup, J-Team versus AHQ, I did not expect it to be wiping the floor with with AHQ.
My path is
13
clear.
kills to 1, with that one being a pseudo throw on the core. It doesn't get much better than that. Not a single tower taken for AHQ. I'm not sure we've seen a game yet in the AIC where that has happened.
Was that a perfect game of Heartless kill?
Not a single tower.
Not a single tower
objective.
taken. Not a single objective taken. One kill given up was Star sacrificing to make sure the core went down.
And that was
Literally as the core went down.
literally a perfect game.
Apart from figuratively a perfect game.
Yeah.
The point is, that is a really strong performance taking, and I'm not sure that AHQ know exactly what can pinpoint what wrong, because it was both styles being played and JT playing, arguably the same style better. And a lot of that came down to good drafting. They had Yuzon constantly able to pressure that side lane. That meant that whenever Rush played his typical aggression, trying to steal away, Jungle and JT were able to punish. Those 3 deaths are very, very impactful ones. 2 of them happened quite early on.
I think the big thing too is the Chaser. Chaser's so normally dominant on these side laners, so normally aggressive. Sat back playing the tankier pick, and that Zennial was there, and that's about it.
Yeah, the Angelic Splendor came into a lot of the fight.
Strike from the shadows.
Yeah, it came into the fight. The person he was trying to save died anyway, except for once in mid with the Annette, and he died as well.
Well, it was the target focus, because the focus comes through to Rush overextending. He has to Angelic Splendor in. There is no option. You cannot leave Rush for dead. He is your carry. So they spend the Angelic Splendor. He joins the opponent. They're deep within the jungle. It's a losing fight, but you still have to do it because it's worse to lose without trying. Yep. So it's all about the target focus, and I don't necessarily blame Chaser. I actually blame AHQ's overall unit. Rush for overextending and J-Jack for enabling it. Not taking.
I also thought that my prediction of Wins having the most damage on his team was certainly correct. Over 30% being guarded for him there. His Marja play was stellar all game long. It started off with things like this, with Rush, as you said, just overextending. Really solid rotations from J-Team, just able to maximize every single one of these rotations. Just
oh, that fucking hit me?
And it was the grind, little
I didn't even see that shit.
Little, it just forced HQ down.
What's going on, Azim?
The map knowledge is really good. They used Neil and Star to do that constantly. Able to know when there was presence in the mid-jungle. We saw a lot of kills happen through the river. And of course, the communication necessary for plays like that. Penny saying, hey, I've got 3 of them. It's easy pickings.
Wins just went off in that fight. Every single time he pops that ghost wall.
Everyone needs
so
backup.
If you look at the team fights, Wins is always coming in from the side, typically the same side as well. He didn't actually dominantly.
Holy fuck, dude.
Kind of the matchup I was talking about earlier versus Sun. He actually played versus Chaser in lane, but it's the same thing. The AHQ support tends to play very aggressive into the enemy jungle. Wins tends to join team fights. That's his focus. He doesn't worry about split lane. He worries about rejoining the team, making sure he's there on a flank, and that's very effective on a character with good burst like the Marja.
Yeah, that is super
Give it a whirl.
keep an eye on for sure as it's progressed, because
The fuck was she doing?
Marja is one of these picks you're not really ever going to ban. I mean, sometimes she makes it through into the second phase, but
Forced to. Wins is good on him, but you can't change your. Well, maybe that will change.
Because all four of those bans that HQ brought out were targeted to the side laners. They were direct answers to use on the team.
I would argue that with
Oh, this fucking Jinner.
Oh, absolutely.
No, he got the Abyssal Dragon too.
Marja?
Fuck.
I don't think you can.
Maybe on the second side too, but then they had to take out the Lubu for use on the super
I don't think
use
you
on.
can.
Ouch.
Ouch is right.
enemy has
Particularly if
been
you're on the receiving end of that. However, sides will presumably switch on the red side AHQ. Will force what they want through. Maybe that leads to some change.
What
No,
are
HQ
my
is better
orders?
on the blue side.
But they're
We've
sticking
seen this
with it.
consistently. They're
Yeah,
sticking
you're right.
with it. They have a better win. They're the only team that has a better win rate on the blue side, which means that actually both these teams are getting the position that they want, because JT
Oh my
is
god,
correct
dude.
by a huge margin.
For those who are wondering, and actually don't have confirmed rules, so this might all be BS.
Extinguish the
The
sun.
way it's worked historically at the 10 events like AWC, the losing team chooses what side they want to be on.
Go back,
Because
dude.
AHQ lost that last match, now they choose. And they chose blue side, presumably.
Presumably. So you're now seeing what's going to be a repeat of that last ban phase, which means this should be a Valheim and a Richter. Instead, it is going to be Fever and this denied. Prioritizing that more so over the Valheim, which means that if this Richter is banned
Strike
here,
from the
seeing
shadows.
that Valheim first pick
they ban out the Lindas, they guarantee they'll get Valheim, and they guarantee they'll have a lane that's clear. And I don't disagree, Chaser's a very good Valheim.
Yes.
But I think that you can play Marja into Valheim.
Grinding your Smurf to plat.
And I would have been interested to see Chasing wanted to run he was on it.
I started trying to do that. Oh my god, dude. Everyone needs to pay attention because nobody else is moving between lanes other than me.
Raz, of course. No question there.
Probably jungle, because if you let them get rush on Violet as well, they're pretty scared. But you also it's got Valheim, they run rush on Valheim. So JC are going, well, if we let through the Violet, what happens? And I think the answer is JC can't run the risk. But they've got to be doing that calculation in their head right now, because there are many other things they'd like to be picking up right now.
I'm pretty sure exactly the conversation they're having right now.
Get me the fuck out of here, please.
Instead, they opt to leave it, hold it off. They instead prioritize potentially here. Benny's
trying so hard.
Given how well it was played in that last game, I don't have any issue with that, but Yabenieth. Yaboyeth the Yabenieth.
I knew she was gonna roll too, like I should have waited. I knew as soon as she was spamming roll as soon as he hit her.
In particular has been really, really good.
Yes.
One of the things that JT do better than many other teams.
Nobody's paying attention to the map. They're all over the map, giving away what they're doing.
Yabenieth is especially good at that because he can just set up camp within enemy bushes. People walk by.
Get out, dude. We both gotta get out now.
Welcome to the national parks.
Welcome to the national parks. Let me be your guide. One of the other ways we've seen Yabenieth used, especially effective in not only tower pushes in the low ground, particularly on the high ground, he just charges right in and zones the Nature's Realm, tanks everything up with that lifesteal, and allows his team to not only take down the tower,
from the shadows
anyway as well. It just gives a lot of cover for his
fuck out of here, dude.
So crucial, breaking through that back.
You love the rework on Malik? I still haven't looked at it yet. I mean, technically I don't need that buff, but
And I don't disagree with that. Liliana will basically trade well into the Raz. It's basically
I'm at that point right now.
Initially, Liliana has slightly more damage. It's all fine. A net into Yabenieth is a negative matchup, I feel, for Chejak, because a net is basically the attack of the team almost every play, and Annette does not do that.
Can't aim that thing to save my life.
Now, the advantage of a net into Yabenieth is Hurricane Wolf goes through Nature's Realm. The Nature's Realm ultimate.
So fucking dead.
Static, an immovable, unpassable object of slows and damage. Thing that moves.
Batman, Xanis, and Malik to get through your
unstoppable force means
the plat.
Object.
The unstoppable force wins.
Yes. Little girl on the broomstick takes down the giant tree.
Now the draft will continue for J-Team. They lock in their jungle, and they don't go for the Violet. They're, I think, definitely anticipating a Batman, and they kind of split the difference because they go Zephyrs. That means that if there's a Violet draft coming out for Rush, they have a decent counter to it, a dive potential.
What
but
are
also,
my orders?
The Zephyrs can be flexed to side lane, but also...
But she says the same shit that Butterfly says. Isn't that what Butterfly says?
This pick here, actually, and then this does lead to the potential to actually run out jungles. So Grand out jungles, and also maybe then run a side lane market. You can see like Toronto coming in there.
This is only like my third game with Irie, third or fourth. I didn't really get to play her yet.
Like this picker from J-Team because it puts the
She's fun,
onus
though.
on AHQ to have flexibility. But it also then leaves J-Team the counter to the counter, which is a lot of fun. I actually like bringing Zephyrs in that normally we don't see the jungle assassins brought
Like
in.
that right there. I fucked that up. Like,
prioritize for AHQ. Fear of the ban, but
I'm just bad.
J-Team's like, come on, pick him. We dare you. We double dog dare you.
And think about that indicates to me they're...
Why did I not use my dashes?
I'm
Oh, we're bad, guys.
We've seen Chaser run very good Superman, and that would be
2-5 Yorn and 0-4
stuns.
Natalia.
But I'm not sure that it does well against the Zephyrs.
Irie's 9-0.
CC as well. Yeah, I actually am not loving the Superman into this draft. I feel like there's enough things to slow him down, prevent that flight for him.
Some of them you just can't come back to.
I actually don't mind.
Just can't come back.
Tightly bumped, aggressive front line. That Thief Smart is going to work. Chainhammer Cyclone? Yes, please.
Fennec is very, very good at doing damage to tanky characters.
Yes.
And they've got a lot of them over on J-Team this time around. They'll double down, actually. the support or side lane, final of either, I guess it's more likely to be the side lane here, will be a crash. That gives them a ton of HP.
Oh, as they totally switch this up. Totally, functionally, yeah, it functions exactly the same way. Xanis, very good late game. We saw the play yesterday of the Xano, just doing absolute work.
The Xanis,
the
Xanis
game
gives them a
froze.
little bit of extra dive. I think the Zephyrs still wins that one-on-one matchup because of the Zephyrs' CC. But if Xanis gets hyper late game, then the Xanis will one-shot everything on the map, and we saw Rush do exactly that yesterday.
I like, also, if they pick this Talanis, I'm going to feel very validated in my call. These are two very standard drafts. These are two just very good, very solid, good 1 to 10.
Yeah, it's not really, not something I take with them.
Control, sustain.
I'll just say that.
Yeah, I like both of these drafts.
We're going to see a power spike for both drafts mid-late game.
Yeah.
The Annette's going to fall off, the Zephyrs is going to scale, the Xanis is going to scale, the Talanas needs to get a little bit later as a scale. I think if anything, J-Team scale a little bit better late game.
Yep.
But it's all even, really, and it will just come down to execution. I want to see AHQ play a little bit more control focused during their early game. We saw them go for some... They had lackluster aggression, and then they had uncoordinated rotations to support that. And that meant that they had players getting caught off weirdly, Neil in particular. And I want to see them go for more standard invades. I want to see them particularly... And I think this is difficult with an Annette, but utilize their support as a duo for that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, too, because Xanis doesn't do so much in the early game. Zephyrs is going to win that there. So I think that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. They're going to have to rely on... And in the Valheim, too, he doesn't really hit his spike until he gets a couple items online. So I actually feel like AHQ, their weakness is traditionally the early game, and I don't think this draft actually helps them with that too much. Well, which means that if J-Team can get ahead in the early game, I think they have no problem scaling that better late.
They have the Annette, which I do feel functions very well for AHQ as a crunch to get through early game, because Annette is very, very good at zoning, wave clear, and pressure.
That is true. So we'll see what happens here as we go on through. And now I'm really just looking towards how they can execute on this, because the Annette felt good last game, but a little bit quiet from J-Jack. Just a little bit here. But I do love both of these compositions as we get into game number 2. We're looking at some fantastic, classic, standard.
Oh, the poke already.
It doesn't get much better than this. This is exactly
Haxel
how I
was
like
dead
this
already.
Played. No cheese, nothing crazy, just straight up great gameplay.
Vegan Arena of Valor.
No.
No?
No.
All right. No cheese.
Oh.
HQ will be putting that Malik down bot lane against Telenas. Top lane, it'll be Valheim versus Zenial. Both matchups, I do feel, favor the opposite team. Telenas
Ninjas are obviously superior.
Malik, that's why J-Jack's down here. Early top lane.
Oh, you jungle Butterfly, you jungle.
Are already looking to win because of that, though. They're going to rotate the star up to the top lane. This is what they did last game.
Or she fucking already locked in with sprint.
The mobility of the Raz for early pressure, and at the same time, they have Benny down bottom, making sure that the same can't be done to their ranged DPS.
I really like this call there. It was a really nice snipe from Chase there as well to grab that first Misty goal, walk right on it. Wins will have an interesting time in this lane. I think he should win it in terms of the poke. Just because of the
I'm loving the newer characters we've been getting. Ryoma, Zuka, Irie.
No problem there at all.
Like, I should like Tulin, but I don't know how to play him.
Kind of similar thing. If the Valheim gets scaled, then wave clear is nobody's business. It's lightning fast. But you can't guarantee that, and it definitely will be difficult. Here's an early poke. Neil.
Ooh. Neil wanted to go right in there, and then he's like, oh, there's a third person. Let's not. I love that instant snap decision. He, like, goes to throw out the death from above. It's like, whoop, nope. And it's that 360.
That Xanax skin is sick.
180 in that situation.
This death from above is taking me to safety now.
Yes, yes. This is the live from above. And we now see J-Team looking to set up here onto this Missile Dragon, but AHQ is going to look to rotate into this. Neil's in a rough position, but it still does go their way. Benny doing a great job on the flank and zoning out. As Chaser and crew are trying to rotate in, but it's too little too late as J-Team secure the first dragon.
They used the chunk
we're squishy as fuck.
For that confirm on the Abyssal. Very interesting.
They're pretty squishy too, though. I mean, not as much with the Pyrrha and the Grak. But it's hard for Pyrrha to keep up with a Fennec and a Slims.
It wasn't used to pick up
the Xanax skin on the, I'm watching the AIC.
Now from AHQ as they look to invade the dragon of J-Team. They realize
they're playing Xanax.
The health forcing that keeps
I don't know which one it is, but
very smartly not engaging, just setting here, not wanting to give up any dumb deaths.
Totally smart deaths. On these rotates, like what Jack's doing now through the river. What's differentiating this game from the last game is they're making sure he is backup. They're making sure they're rotating through jungle or supported and trying to keep Sun safe, although he does poke a little bit too far forward. Find his flicker.
Yes, we saw a few flickers kind of forced out in these fights. As players themselves is somewhat compromised.
I keep thinking I have, it's like red, yeah. I keep thinking I have 3 dashes because I've been playing.
Helping out, even sometimes at bottom, allowing his teammates to get additional pressure up there on this Raz. He has the mobility, and he's doing such a fantastic job of keeping the pressure on AHQ, and also kind of acting as that ward, sort of acting as almost a secondary support role. And again, he has that mobility. So
it looks like his weapon's on fire.
He does. Star dipping mid lane.
Yeah, he's getting right on out of there. He called the cab. It's arrived. He's getting right on.
Did I turn off the stove?
And now we just see Rush this time around looking a lot more comfortable, I think, on this Xanus. He hasn't gotten caught out at all like we saw in game number 1. I think part of that has to do with the fact that he's a little bit tankier in these engages, and he has noticed his team's got his back. But once again, Star rotating up here up top.
It looked like Ormar did AFK.
Tower will live.
Damage onto it. J-Team are going to hit a mid-game spike where their tower clear is going to be almost unstoppable. That's what you get when you tell an us. So it is very important for AFQ that they get a little bit ahead of time. I would appreciate that with them putting a few more resources towards shutting down that teleboss. There's kind of a duo lane happening top bottom, which is rare for AFC.
Yeah, we started seeing this occur a little bit more as these ranged marks have been sort of coming back into prevalence a little bit more. Just having the traditional support. Mobo 101 having that support there.
You're dead. I loved you all. I didn't miss my fucking abilities like a scrub. Jesus. Oh, Talanis. Come on, Raz. Oh, you got your ult now. Got no fury or rage or whatever it is. Yeah, that Xanus skin is really cool.
Push underneath the mid tower, force some scary retreats out from Star, but everyone survives.
Oh, excuse me, Jesus.
It outranges towers.
Yep, but he's kind of running out of mana though, so keep an eye on this. To move towards this next Abyssal Dragon. Neil's arrived. Watch how fast the Zephys takes down this Abyssal Dragon. It is crazy to see. But Benny is there with the Redwood Rush to zone out beautifully. Now the Nature's Realm Hawk is the flank. He's taking way too much damage here. But he's got the flicker. His job has been done, and he actually is able to get out. Neil, though, might be the one in trouble. Does he have his ult still available? The Eagle Eye to try and get out of there, and he does. The death above just in time, which means that JT walk away with it.
That was very well played by JT. They go in for the fight around the Abyssal. Things get dangerous. Rush shows up. Benny is there. He throws him back using the Redwood Rush, scooping him away from that low HP Abyssal Dragon. Then once they picked it up, the focus turns to Benny, understandably. He's got the flavor to take it. And the wave clear comes through. That's why Neil was lingering. He was making sure because they've been dropped low, there's danger. They can convert the minion wave into a tower regardless because all the defenders are low. And because he presses forward, they're able to avoid that. And that tower's still standing.
It is indeed, but up at the top, the tower does fall. Finally, the pressure of AHQ comes on board. Does a lot of damage to both top and bottom towers simultaneously. So yes, while they're not being able to pick up these kills, they're not being able to pick up these Abyssal Dragons, they are already doing more push than the entirety of game number 1.
Soul Reaver already completed over Rush. He's going to start absolutely jumping people as he completes the rest of his build. And you can see that as he puts 2 shots to the very sensitive.
Me, I'm sick, yeah, dude. Weather's been shitty. I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah, both of them work pretty well into the late game because their burst still functions. And you build damage.
Wow, I'm bad.
So he doesn't tend to take any damage. So it even works pretty well against the tankier characters.
Another tanky character, Neo. Well, he's a little tankier, he's got that life steal going. That was absolutely wild. For a second, I was like, is he not going to commit the death from above? Why is he waiting until he gets back onto the tower? I think he was waiting for the flicker to come out there, but he was actually on cooldown, so not a
Yeah,
position.
right? Who'd have thought? Never heard of that before.
Rush now up against Neil, the reinitiation there, now it's used on trying to pick it as well. Rush is trying to clear out these beams underneath the tower, but Neil actually survives. He needs now to run for the
Jesus,
shot.
he's got like
try and pick this up. Yuzon is there
100
as well.
HP.
Squishy at this stage of the game. Pac actually does do it, but misses the key skill onto Yuzon. Now might be a little bit out of position though, as we do have the hurricane wall from J-Jack.
No, get out of here.
Key moment to allow Hawk to go off.
Very well played. Yuzon tanking the tower to try and keep them alive, but then the chase comes through. Hawk completely dukes the dive coming through and calls in his allies. Able to stay ahead using the unpredictable. Just here on the replay, you should be able to see that escape again. And never mind. And
it was pretty cool.
It was really cool because both teams played
Four guys in mid.
and it was the team play from AHQ. J-Jack was able to rotate in, they get 2 extra kills.
Double.
Yuzon was going to intercept the dive.
It was a really sick turnaround there up on the Slayer side. In the bottom, JT was able to pick up a solo kill.
Alright, well, this tower's theirs. There's no way I'm defending this.
A little bit of a misplay there in the mid, messing up.
I don't have an ult.
Rush combo, not pulling back the potential key.
Don't go in, Butterfly. They're not even low.
However, we are still seeing this back and forth brawl going down up here in the top lane here in the jungle. Sun has decided that he's now setting. He's disappearing off the face of the earth, going a little bit too far there, trying to get that buff, but it was Zephys. We talked about the mid-game skill. Zephys executed right now. The Angelic Splendor from Yuzon's keeping him alive, but Rush barely surviving.
That was so smart though, and J-Team were absolutely leveraging the correct characters. They're keeping Neil up top because he's very good at that matchup. He'll probably win the disaster with the creative Yuzon. And
wow,
they keep Wins, who's maybe vulnerable to a little bit of time. He's the rotate come through from Rush now to ball lane to challenge him. Completely separates from him. Never seen a Wins versus Rush matchup.
We have not seen that yet, but we are seeing Wins just really starting to scale. There's such thing as
I can't fight on an empty stomach.
He's getting 5.9k gold already to his name. He is so far ahead of anyone on HQ.
But Benning isn't nearby.
Let's go.
That's true. That is true.
Fuck the blue cat.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
Wins. It is.
Okay, just kidding.
It's going to be a bit of a skill matchup there as well.
Well, the big scary thing on that is the speed with which you can navigate.
Star just committed into 5 people.
Let's go. Thunk, thunk. It's beautiful. I love Zuka.
They recognize their counter players, so they try and rush him into the dragon. They might not be able to do it.
Base is created as Wins, so he's prioritizing the fight right now. He's trying to bait down the Abyssal Dragon right there. The Hurricane Wall goes through the shot to try and follow. This thing is so low in HP. The Eagle Eye finally going to be there. Neil's going to be screwing it. This Chaser is getting very low on the flank. The heal to try and keep him alive through it. He does a little bit longer. The Reiki shot will connect to Neil, but Neil survives. All the while, the Dark Blessing is picked up by J-Jack, keeping him alive. But he's surviving back now. Hawk's trying to win.
We made it.
So Wins now. So with Malleus. The ball to the death above his Neil is there as well.
I prefer him a little bit better to Irie right now.
He gets 2 already, and he's just
But I don't know how to play Irie. I'm playing her more like I play Zuka.
Off of the respawn, running through mid, and winning J-Team a 4v5.
A shooting star falling to earth and crushing J-Jack in the mid. That was exactly what J-Team wanted to do to finalize that fight. But Neil went off at the start of that, baiting in that Abyssal Dragon, forcing out Chaser with that shock. And now, off the back of an amazing fight, look at what J-Team is doing to the map.
They convert multiple towers, and it was Neil all the way during that fight. He actually got dropped incredibly low, dipped down to the bot lane, if I'm not mistaken, grabbed a seagull for a little bit of an HP boost, and then returned to fight and launched another Death Flurry, which knocked J-Jack incredibly low.
Really heads up play from him, identifying it. Part of the problem with these assassins is you go in, you're like, I need to commit, but then you're low. You're like, well, I just try and keep fighting and maybe I'm gonna die, but no. It's the ability to get back out, reset, get your cooldowns, reinitiate on these fights. That is the mark of these truly top tier assassin players.
Push back.
Neil's ability during that fight and his ability to shoot the key thing. There are a few characters over on AHQ who would absolutely recommend a 1v1.
Food now. Battle later.
No, and they're just allowing the Talonus to live as long as they did as well. The Eagle Eye in the back.
Played kind of a defensive frontline role for a long time.
Get out of here. Fucking bird.
To actually stop several concerted efforts to shut down Wins.
Yeah, and now we're seeing just all the pressure he's able to exert there. Rush almost getting one shot by the combo. Rush is getting him online here. His towers are falling. AHQ on the back step once again. A much more even game.
Ooh, let's go, baby. Hello, Drac. How's it going tonight, mate?
AHQ might be able to contest them.
An enemy has been defeated.
We're going to spike the game, but chasing one.
Just kidding.
Now they're pushing through, and they should be able to break a high.
They should if they're pushing him to the minion wave. The Gus Force doing a great job. Neil is on the flank. So we do have the Zenio looking to join the shock through the minion wave. Hawks forced back through all this. Wins is still alive. Chunking down Chaser. Finally the Nature's Realm comes out. Maybe a little too late in that fight. But Neil did some damage, forcing back AHQ, but J-Team's HP is so low.
Neil just dove behind 2 towers and almost one-shot Sun. And that was saved by Yuzon.
Sun was able to go in. Yes, the chip damage.
That Zephyr skin's pretty cool too, though.
Zenio is being chased back in the mid, but we have 2 high ground towers now at half HP.
With the build into Leviathan, Neil is operating almost as secondary frontliner, but he's the damage.
31% of damage taken.
Every world right now.
Well, there's a reason they prioritized this pick so early in the draft, and we're seeing it. Level 15s basically coming out across the board for
9-1-3. Let's go.
At almost a 10K gold lead.
I want to be able to play Irie like that.
By AHQ, but losing 4 Abyssal Dragons.
Well, that one game was kind of hard to tell because there was
really
like
behind, TJ.
Bad Yor and Bad Natalia, and they had a good.
The Zephyrs of Neil is almost unstoppable in terms of lifesteal.
Yes.
So he's got his Death Flurry for lifesteal. He's got the CC of the Death from above, which we see many times over, and he's diving into the middle of these fights.
It's like JT
a little bit tankier,
poisoned to go 2-0.
And his passive, which makes him get higher damage reduction the lower his HP goes. And as a result, he's constantly playing around 1/3 HP, because the lifesteal is keeping him up, but not so up that he's fully healed. Not that good, but enough that if he plays it well, and he does, he's hovering around a 1/3 HP, getting the maximum benefit from that damage reduction and his tankiness, and then being able to operate as this mid and just shelling.
Oh, he's sitting, again, it's the best of every world, as you said. He's doing such a fantastic job with this hero, and watch how fast he takes down this tower, or would do so when the minions get in range. Great defense from Rush and Hawk, though, because on the other side, we have the double. The party is coming in here. The Drake is now here in bottom, but the split push.
I haven't watched it yet, no. I was working last night.
All game long is keeping the pressure up on both other lanes. This is J-Team firing right now. Chaser as well is under a lot of threat. J-Jack is there as well as Yuzong's committing, but a great win comes from both together. Rush, a lot of threat there from Star, but Neil is somehow still.
What do you run on, Irie? Execute?
High ground tower does fall, but Benny is doing such a great job.
I want to run her in lane, not in jungle.
Sun stays alive that entire fight, stark contrast to previous fights, and that means that AHQ hold on. They don't lose a fight that they frankly should have, and J-Team only get towers. However, it is only 2 high ground towers, which is quite good. 2 high ground towers to the name and lots of HP still.
Yeah, so this is the losers final right now.
Look to potentially bait something out right now.
AHQ versus JT.
In a precarious position. Hawk, the player we've been talking about all game long for his individual mechanical skills, will need to continue that.
Do it. I'll build a bit tankier.
Even further, however, if AHQ has any chance of recovering, because the damage is coming on through from J-Team, and Rush is going to be the target, instantly getting deleted right now as this final high ground tower is under threat.
When I read on like how you can build her, it said building a sustained tanky's not too bad.
He needs to be constantly protected, and he needs to be able to lay out sustained damage into the key diving members. That's Neil, that's Star. They do have the burst.
I don't know.
But as you said, they
I can't build Zuka very tanky. I don't do very good with Zuka tanky.
Because what Wins is putting together, with what Star is putting together, it is so tough to deal with. Finally, we are seeing Sun able to then forcing.
I haven't done very good with Irie and
we're trying to survive, trying to sustain
damage
through this.
mode.
As Hawk goes down, Neil initiates. The
So maybe a tankier version will work better for me.
Neil the tower, that is absolutely perfect because they still have the damage to try and push on through this. But the final high ground tower falls, and J-Team is pushing in onto the core.
Like I built Ryoma.
That should be game. They pick up Sun. It is only Rush to dive in, and it's not enough. It's 2-0 to J-Team. J-Team going off right now in the losers bracket finals, going up against our reigning world champions in AHQ and getting some redemption along the way.
Get ready.
What GCS finals? What regional leagues?
Tread
Doesn't matter, the results are being reset now. But I should say, they go out to head during that regional league as well. So, though their path to the grand finals looks mighty clear right now, HQ still have another game to fight back in, and that one more game might become 3.
Like a leaf on the wind.
are looking rough right now. Taking a look at these faces.
I feel like she's kind of like Fennec, like level 2, she can wreck.
Getting eliminated from the
She's so mobile. She's got a stun.
Top 2 or bust.
Just kidding.
He is staring retirement in the face.
One game away.
Luckily,
Hey, hey, butterfly the ward.
enough where that's ever been a problem. So there it is.
I was thinking of the casting desk. Whatever. AHQ will be ready to go.
There's like a small delay on that I gotta get used to. On the whatever that thing is, a glaive or.
My path is clear.
But also I didn't feel good, and here's why. He does have damage.
The couple times I have played her, I've played in 2v1 like this, and I don't actually mind it. You can poke really hard, and you can stay pretty safe.
If you compare damage taken when we get there, Neil is going to have taken so much damage for his team, as well as dealt. He is absolutely the MVP for this match for JT.
Yes.
Neil dominated every single fight. Started really well, acting almost as the assassin. He flipped ropes. Neil is being able to zone, control, stay alive during the fight, sustain, and the Star comes through, picks off individual players. Rush should have been roughly equivalent to what Star was doing, and if we look at the damage trade between the two, Rush is behind.
From the shadows.
Rush is behind. Hawk did a fantastic job of getting those big bursts of damage throughout these fights, but it never actually resulted in kills. It did some decent damage, but J-Team was still in a position where they were able to reset or find a pick of their own. Put them in a much better position.
There's also a pretty good 1-1 comparison between Sun and Wind.
Yes.
Because they're both functioning in back lane.
Fuck, I didn't upgrade my ultimate.
Damage. Yes. And Wind dominated, never challenged Neil every single team fight. Dove in and made sure.
Get me out! I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. Woo, baby!
Star was rotating up to the Slayer side of the map. Every single wave rotation. He was putting pressure, he was forcing back the Valheim, he was getting poked, he was getting damaged.
Yeah, disrupt is annoying, then you just dive the fuck out of you.
Whereas on the other side, Talanis was left completely free farm. She was, yeah, you threw a Malik at her like once or twice, and that was it.
Remember we said the comparison to Star, the assassin character available to AHQ, was being played by their jungle. We never saw the Xanis Telenas matchup during the early game.
Literally, we didn't see the entire game.
There was one time. He dove for once.
Did he get the kill?
They're coming for you.
Intercepted by Neil.
Of course.
Because Neil was playing great defense.
He's playing great everything. Like, I feel like Neil has really hit his stride. If J-Team,
fuck, we got 3 over there.
If J-Team continue like this,
Careful the brush.
I predicted that the team who came out on top in this lower bracket final would go on to win the whole thing. Right. If J-Team keep playing like this, if they 3-0 AHQ, which they are very close to I still hold that prediction true.
Well, they might 3-0 to AHQ, they might. They might.
Beautiful.
But they'll have to face down to the Flash, watching and recording and waiting.
No, I'm trash. Why didn't I execute? Why didn't I execute? I'm so bad.
Beat that record.
They do indeed. Taking a look at the facial expressions of both teams.
Whatever, we still came out on top, but I should have executed there.
AHQ look dejected right now. They do not look at all pleased. Which is kind of interesting because AHQ have gone down multiple games before. They've gone down 2 games in the series in a set and have come back. But they did not look like this. I mean, we're looking at
tread softly.
Losing our draft here for a second. But you know, it's interesting here, yeah.
I think that what you're seeing is a little bit of a shift in the AHQ mentality. Previously, we'd always see AHQ look reserved, but comfortable.
Stoic, if anything, when they get behind.
I like that, stoic.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. We should clean that up, though. Maybe not.
I thought I
Maybe
saw
not at all.
And they
on the face of, yeah.
They have done this
ally
whole
has been
tournament look a little bit
defeated.
more
Ooh, just about got Arthur.
You talked, well, they were the Terminator.
Yeah, let's do it low.
And now they're looking less so.
Your tower
Well, it
has
was
been
the
destroyed.
stage game where we saw them literally tilt.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
What
actually,
are
we saw
my
a game
orders?
where they were definitely down versus Team Flash, and they started playing
Fennec back here.
weirdly aggressive.
They literally just
They were into.
Yes.
The fact that they were continually diving into the enemy team, initiating fights that they really didn't
An enemy has been
basics
defeated.
is really worrying for a team like AHQ who thrive on doing their basics better than anyone else.
AHQ, the reason I going to this and watching group stage matches is their macro. Their macro was.
We're gonna watch that top lane. Thanos is gonna get
better
ganked.
than everybody else. Teams
But
have
they're
caught up
missing.
even over the course of this, you know, over the course of the 3 weeks of play, and their macro is now no longer the top. We'll get back to this draft here in just a second. But it's wild to see. I don't even think it's not HQ getting worse. It's literally, well, maybe it is though, because some of these telegraph plays, some of these practice plays they were known for, they're not coming out, and maybe it's predictable. But maybe it's because
I don't think it's AHQ getting worse.
no, everyone else getting better.
An
And I think
enemy has been defeated.
No, like execute. No. I stunned her. Wanted to execute her. I would have killed her. Fuck, and Arthur cut me off. I got the execute off, but it went on Arthur. That's alright. We cleaned it up anyway.
Fan phase will continue here. It's going
An
to be
ally has been
Ignis,
defeated.
Valheim,
That greed,
versus
though.
two. AHQ currently is because that's guaranteed insta-ban. But that means they don't have the opportunity.
I feel like Spear's fine too, because you get some attack, some armor, and some cooldown. Because I need all of those.
Through 2 power choices. That means this should, if you're playing it smart, be an Ignis ban.
Who's the one with Disrupt on their team? The Arthur, and it's up.
I don't know if they like that Elsu, so they might change it up. Because they don't like Elsu, ban Elsu, and then get Richter into
Struck
Ignis.
from the shadows.
No, they can't.
You don't think we get that? No, I don't think it's
Alright, mistakes were made.
An enemy has been defeated.
There are multiple options, but if they ban out Richter, the Elsu pick up for JT.
Ooh, get me out of here.
No, they go Raz because they're comfortable. This sucks for HQ.
Yeah.
They don't play Elsu.
No, and JT knows that. There's no reason to pick it this early.
They
Literally
don't
no
play
reason.
Elsu. What are AHQ gonna do? AHQ gonna do? Play Elsu? Pull it out for the first time in their elimination game?
Nope. That's a yikes from me, dog. If they pull that one out. That would actually be them hinting at this point. That would
Like a
actually be
leaf on
them
the wind.
just tilted off the face of the earth. They're not going to do that. They're going to grab likely a support here. Yep, there it is. Mina now coming in. J-Jack. Like this.
An enemy has been defeated.
I know that J-Jack can do that as well, setting up a lot of good picks. This is the start of a very good draft for HQ.
Beautiful.
Better start for JT now. They get the Raz. Great. They have the Violet to counter the Lindis. Should that be locked in? And they can pick up Elsu whenever and if they want towards the second half of the draft.
Grab the advantage here as well, I think, though.
If AHQ
Tread
ban
softly.
Elsu during second phase, they're still losing ground.
Yeah.
So JT should just get the Violet here. And if
Oh.
it's Cheri Gilliam, put it on the Elsu. Otherwise, the fact that it's a threat guarantees AHQ have to be aware of it.
And again, this is why I preface this here so much for starting off today's broadcast. The mind games built around this Elsu or Wild, this is exactly the one for the 2-3 I want JT to pick.
Not everyone's comfortable.
Yeah.
And because not everyone's getting comfortable on the Elsu, you have
My
so
path
many
is
different
clear.
options to play around it. It's still a threat. This would be your Bennett coming through alongside the Violet, a very strong backline, frontline duo. The Violet typically needs a little bit more protection. Luckily, your Bennett does exactly that, particularly Benny's hand. It's on against that assassination potential.
Struck from the shadows.
Ooh, snap. They got Darkslayer.
That they can just
Well
rely
played.
on the Violet to the burst over time from the backline.
We'll be seeing the potential for double marks on both sides here, but I would expect a little more of a tanky composition.
JT knows that
They know exactly. They don't.
Like a leaf on the wind.
AHQ would like it.
An
but
enemy
I
has been
they play
defeated.
without playing together.
An ally has
That was
been
why JT
defeated.
banned it.
You have defeated an enemy.
I mean, HQ have a lot of great pick potential. They can burst
Your
somebody
team
down.
has destroyed a tower.
But JT are going to have a
Double
lot of
kill.
ability, a lot of control with
Look
the
at that
Redwood
Elsu
Rush.
map. They can't afford
Baited
to
it.
let it through.
They baited it.
And that means that JT have an extra side lane.
You guys attack. I'll push this thing.
So
Team
good
has
for them.
destroyed a
Just use on-
tower.
They can grab him
Tread softly.
Ultimate. They actually opted to ban the Superman here because of the power that it has. Yeah, J-Team is crushing this draft right now. I like it. Scud ban. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon.
Chaser is a really good scud, and since they need some dive somewhere on AHQ, it's actually pretty heads up. Yeah. Because if you're aware that AHQ can dive, then maybe you're just worried about the scud from Chaser. As is, I expect to see something along the lines of a Lubu in the side lane.
It's more towards an Ubu or an Omen, I think.
My path is clear.
Nice. HQ needs to be able to lock down that violet somehow. I would have preferred the Lubu because I think his burst mobility is necessary versus a Yavana. The Omen certainly has potential as well. The other problem with the Omen is the resistant counterpicking.
No! Clean him up. Clean him up.
If you were to pick 5
Arthur's coming too.
An ally has been defeated.
Oh, Ignis is coming too. Nice.
This is
Onslaught.
Good shit.
An enemy has been defeated.
Oh no, I actually like this into the Mina. No, I like the Warlord. I like the go and into the Omen. No, I like this
His
more.
CC immunity from his
Oh,
ultimate.
so good.
His ultimate Warlord, every time he attacks an opponent, he gets a brief period of stun immunity.
Oh no, that's the face of a man who thinks he just lost this draft. Sorry to cut you off there, TJ, but that face speaks.
Hi, Kaya.
volumes. He just does not look
What
comfortable right
are
now.
my orders?
Oh no.
An enemy
Sorry to
has
cut you
been
off there, but I love the
defeated.
fact that we can see these player reactions in real time. Talk to
This
us
was
more
up.
about Gorlord.
This moment's past now, sorry.
Gorlord's really good. CC immunity. That's all you need to know.
J-Jack needs to work out something because
Extinguish the
they have
self.
one side lane left to draft, and yeah, I
Shut
agree.
down.
Double marksman was the best they could hope for. Yeah, but like I said, the only double marksman that really runs successfully is the ground lane.
Ooh, let's go.
Not Valheim in a week.
In AOC,
In total in AIC.
I believe so, yes.
Oh boy.
And they won't.
They won't do it. That's better. Marsh is better. Yeah, I agree. I feel like
I definitely did.
I think for this team, the Marsh is better.
Man, this character is so good.
Give it a whirl. Beautiful.
Well, no, not necessarily, because into the shock and everything.
Wanna blow up?
But they need sustained damage.
Oh,
They
shit.
have no sustained damage.
They have sustained damage in
apart
Marsh.
from the Lindus
Double
to deal
kill.
with Wind's effect.
They have the Marsh.
No.
So far in this series. I think that's not a bad pick.
I
Should take over your headset.
dominantly won this draft.
I agree that JT would.
How are you liking?
Don't get me wrong.
How are you liking your Nintendo Switch, Kaya?
I hit the margin a little.
Okay.
You having lots of
I'm a
fun
bit of a
playing on
Marja
that?
fan, though, because we
I
see
can
so
tell.
many fantastic Marja
Strike
players.
from the shadows.
Wins made me believe. Prior to that point, wasn't on the train.
All right. Look,
Wins is consistently able to find these big bursts of damage though whenever he commits to the fights.
yeah, he goes in and he burns Ghost Walk right at the start, and he happy to his entire team.
An
And I go,
enemy
well
has
then,
been defeated.
that's the Marja.
Tread
It's pretty good.
softly. Shut down.
The team fight rotations are what's key on the character. AHQ
I like having a
is
range
struggling
stun.
with those. They've swapped out Rush. They're putting on a traditional hyper carry. That could work very well for them. That is kind of
Your
the X factor
team
for
has
me. I was
destroyed a
kind
tower.
of bemoaning their lack of sustained damage. Not really thinking about the way Rush plays Lindus. Because it is slightly different. And if Rush is able to get out ahead because of the power farm that they can efficiently do, the hyper carry, those
My
are all
path
local
is
words.
clear.
If they put a lot of gold and a lot of emphasis on gaining gold onto the Lindus, onto Rush, they have enough damage to win this game. That is AHQ win.
That is how they're going to make it happen, and they will need to make it happen here.
Let's go.
Number 3 of the Loser Bracket
What are you
Finals
trying to do, Butterfly?
AIC 2018. AHQ is down 2 games to 0 to J-Team. If J-Team take this, they send AHQ home. They
Extinguish the
advance to the
self.
grand finals. Everything is on the line for AHQ. They came in the AWC from the Losers Bracket. They're gonna have to do it again here. The AIC.
The reigning
have
world
defeated an
champions.
enemy.
We can say that.
I can say that.
An
Mistakes were
ally
made.
has been defeated.
Mistakes were not made. I'm a beast. Oh, and then I walked into the Ignis.
We both like this composition very much so.
I like this build
We're both
path a
very
lot
much
better.
big fan of the composition of J-Team. It's very
Give me some
standard.
damage. Give me some cooldown. Give me some sustain.
Have one more clear option, but they
Give me
can
some
actually
HP.
know how effective Rush can be.
An ally has been defeated.
Wins having to play a little
It's my
more
last.
defensive.
What am I?
Your
Playing
team
some
has
pretty consistently
destroyed a
aggressive
tower.
characters now on the Malik. He's going to be a terrifying threat towards the late game, but again, I'm not sure it'll work well because they don't have him to absolutely explode like he has done over the course of the last few
Irie's really fun, yeah.
Don't indeed. We'll keep an eye on that. As Wins is pushing now once again on the J-Jack. Oh! Flicker's committed on both sides.
What
Nice
are
little
my
debate there for
orders?
HQ, able to steal out minions there, but a big committal from both sides. Also love how both top laners have rotated into mid to get that additional levels of farm as well. Let no minion be wasted.
JT don't lose too much though, particularly because there was some steel that came through during that time.
She's so mobile.
I don't think AHQ
Like, that's a short ass cooldown.
is gonna come out to
4 seconds, and I can dash 3 times again. How does that make any sense? What the? Get me out of here. Woo, thanks, guys.
Not the end of the world there, end of the world for J-Team, though, as they look towards this first Abyssal Dragon. Now, the Abyssal Dragon game has been very clearly going in the favor of J-Team. I think AHQ has only taken 1 dragon in 2 games.
Tread softly.
Out of form for an AHQ who traditionally are so focused on major objectives, on being able to build those major objectives into a gold lead. Yesterday, they tried to regain that a little bit.
Dragon.
We saw a little bit of focus towards Abyssal, and it always went badly.
They lost every single Abyssal
My
Dragon
path
fight.
is clear.
Their early game is 100% their
Whirlwind.
weakness right now, and it shows so much in games. I like the pressure that AHQ is exerting up here. They actually rotate rush towards the farm, pressure, force back use on, but in an instant, J-Team rotates to cover the gaps in their defenses, and there's no opportunity for HQ to really respond.
Oh, Talanis. Oh, they should have killed her.
Nice little, I don't want to call these hyper-aggressive invasions.
Oh, there's somebody else with her.
Dipping their toe out of the water into the opposing team's jungle, going on a mini safari.
Strike from the shadows.
I'm interested to see how Benny will be playing this. Previously, we talked about how Benny was carrying wins in bot lane son. And he's not going to be able to rotate to flex wins. Of course, Wins is playing a little bit more of the tanky character. So instead, Benny is split mostly focusing on enabling Star, which is the
Stay away.
Yeah, Star has been an all-star so far in these games. He's playing more traditional, where we see the supports in keeping Star alive. Star has also been a lot less, I don't want to say hard and fast with his rotations. He's letting Yuzon play a little more on his own. Yeah, there's nobody really to punish here. He's allowing Yuzon to just sit back. He's actually more at risk of going up into the zone right there.
Ooh, let's go. GG.
Valheim's a much safer option. We're seeing a much more standard game start this off.
Valheim doesn't have a whole bunch of mobility, so if you're able to catch him out, it works very well.
That's more like it.
That's
what I like to see.
Nicely done. His son's gonna be the next target on the flank, though. JJX there, the Dark Minion son is getting chunked down by the kill grab.
Okay, my dog was barking. I need to go with my dog out.
Will they have it? And yes, it is Star.
Yes, it is Star in the back.
As J-Team pick up the first 2 kills of the game, an overcommittal from AHQ, walking into a
161st
choke.
MVP. My MVPs have been like slacking
all the
though
way up
because I'm
near the mid lane because
playing
they
random
know
shit
they can
instead.
rotate through. There's nobody in bottom. This is going to be an easy Abyssal Dragon pickup for them.
What a beautiful collapse from J-Team. Let's watch that back again, TJ.
Watch Yuzon fly in on the Sea Spear, just instantly get infinite connections to chain his Gore Lord, and that's exactly what he does. J-Jack cannot affect him because of the immunity, the stun immunity from his ultimate.
Oh, that timing was perfect, and that's what we were talking about in the draft. The Dark Dominion should have saved a life. The Dark Dominion should have kept the team member alive, but it didn't because Gore Lord was there, perfectly timed from Yuzon, and he just waltzed right on through.
Now J-Team can rotate to the mid lane, knowing that they have picks and pressure down into the bot lane from AHQ. AHQ need gold back. That's why they're playing so aggressive. If Rush dies here by BGG,
that could be disastrous. Rush is in a terrible position. Benny's there on the flank. Neil's trying to chase him down as well. That is going to be able to tactical fire, but no! Getting on through the bush. Rush is there. He's trying to duel this out against Neil. This is a terrible decision. Who just fires it right on through the bush.
Yuzon in the mid lane does get the lane clear in the meantime. J-Team's rotations are impeccable.
The collapse is real. I cannot imagine what their comms sound like right now, TJ.
Go bot lane. That's their comms, as they do find the full rotate through. Neil here, Star as well. The Marta Coast Walk does keep Chaser alive. He'll get the wave clear.
That was beautifully done there from Chaser, not only keeping himself alive, but also keeping his tower intact. That is the high-level play we expect from him. Marsh is good. Anyway.
Hawk in the mid lane has some zone as well. But AHQ feel the need to play aggressive. I don't think they're wrong. I just don't think they're winning their aggressive pushes.
They know what they're supposed to be doing, and they are doing that thing. It's just that J-Team is strictly, mechanically, team coordination-wise, outplaying them right
Benny.
now.
Like that cutoff. Just to play right into the midst of those 2 players, separate them not just from each other, but also from the jungle. That was slick.
I love the way Benny uses his Nature's Realm. Again, he's one of the best
So
inventive
aggressive.
players. So aggressive. But in a weird way, because he's also zoning and protecting his teammates while he does it. So as long as he's slowing 1 or 2 enemies, he's actually also playing defensive because those are 2 enemies that aren't attacking his allies.
Yeah, his defensive
aggression
is perfect. Wynn's now in trouble.
MOBA terms.
He could use some defensive aggression.
Yes, he could.
Definitely know that this is happening. Star as well comes through. He'll tag a Power Surge into the Abyssal to reset it, stall out AHQ. And now, though, they can't go for it and retreat back during that time. JT take advantage of knowing where all their team is and go for the tower. Benny committing under it.
J-Jack going in, looking for the Death Sight, looking for the Dark Dominion. But in the back, we do have a beautiful Nature's Realm as Sun tries to commit onto this fight. Benny is going to potentially live. Yes, Yuzon taking up the shot for him from Hawk. Absolutely wild in the Death's Embrace, and Benny lives.
Sunny dove in 1v4 specifically to land the Death's Embrace. Doesn't work despite excellent play from Sun. It wasn't enough. There was no follow-up.
The team play from J-Team right now is on another level. Nice little play in the bottom there once again from Chaser, having a Ghost Walk to survive, but it's Benny. Benny being everything his team needs.
The reason there was no follow-up to Sun's really good engage was that the Nature's Realm was there to zone anyone out from playing defense underneath the tower. That's why Sun engaged in the first place, because he knew if he played defensively behind the tower, he'd just be zoned out by the Nature's Realm. So his only option was to go aggressive to save the tower. He tried that and it worked, but nobody else could get close to him because Benny was already mid-ult.
That's the problem with this event, is the fact that it can just control so much space.
Yuzon,
the top lane.
my
Yuzon
God.
literally just rips through Rush. With Star, there was HQ is 5 seconds too late. This is the difference maker right here. AHQ is reacting while J-Team is dictating the pace of this game.
The bot lane pressure will be coming through from Wins during that time. He's just going to make sure that they have all 3 waves pushing simultaneously. The second AHQ tried to get aggressive, dictate their own pace for the game. Using that top lane wave pressure, the full rotate came through. J-Team using a really excellent duo of Star and Yuzon, both decently high mobility with the speed boost Yuzon generates, and both very good and differently equipped to deal with different threats. They have the burst damage from the Star running Raz, and they have the sustained damage from Yuzon's Killgraph.
That's why I love this draft so much. It checks every box, TJ. But it's so interesting because we talk about AHQ, like, oh, they're looking for the evades. They're setting this up, X, Y, and Z, but they're playing right into J-Team's hands. Like, J-Team was intentionally leaving openings, baiting AHQ in, and then collapsing on them with ease. Every single time that AHQ thinks they're being the aggressors, they're actually just walking into a trap, and very specifically, a Nature's Realm.
It feels like J-Team know AHQ better than AHQ know AHQ.
Yes! Yes!
It feels like J-Team understand exactly where AHQ's rotates and pressure are going to be and exactly how many people are going to be there. They've watched some VODs, that's all I'm saying.
Well, and this seems to be the trademark of teams that take down AHQ. They're the teams that can do their research, because AHQ, bless them, they get a little bit predictable. And we're seeing it here in these rotations. But the problem is the second you try to break that predictability, you go off script, then they're not comfortable with that. So they're left in a no-win scenario, which is why they're down 0-2 in this set.
1 game away from being eliminated from the AIC in 3rd place.
I cannot
the
believe
reigning
that.
world champions.
What breed is it? It's a Lasso Apso.
The World Cup winners. And AHQ still in trouble. J-Jack picked up in mid.
It's a weird one.
The chain CC was, there was not a millisecond, there was not a moment in time when J-Jack was able to walk away from that. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Kills continue across the board. The towers continue to fall. It is
oh damn, JT is gonna take it 3-0.
AHQ. They said they
7-0.
wanted the first or second place. That was all they would accept. But now, TJ, they're facing 3rd.
That is brutal. It has fallen apart. They can't get close to Neil and Star. They can't even.
How's it going, man?
Rush is desperately trying to answer
Drick
that.
pick?
If he's able to power farm, maybe. If he's able to get so far
Drick
ahead
pick or
during this next
Dr.
phase,
Ick pick? How's it going, man?
One-shot anyone on the opposing team. Maybe they have a chance, but it is all.
They're getting their
Rush
asses
to
kicked
do
right
so,
now. What was their
and they
draft?
are
Omen,
so far
Lindis,
behind.
Rush's
Liliana,
goal
Marja,
is the same
and Mina. I don't think I ever saw Marja
The
win in any of the
hard
competitive
carry of
games I saw.
AHQ is in the same position
Kilgroth.
Nice cancellation
Really?
shot there for wins.
Well, they played him last game too,
Is
so.
going to die, but every single cooldown has been blown. Nice damage from Hawk, but a counter to the kill does come in, and JT.
I'm doing good, my friend. Relaxing on a Sunday, day off, playing some AOV.
Don't get the Abyssal Dragon. JT probably won't challenge for it because of the debuff in hand.
Oh,
but they already have the Drake.
Playing some Irie,
out from the
if I
defense
can.
buff that might save them. This Drake will come through as soon as they've equalized wave clear enough. Maybe they'll even wait for Winds to respawn before summoning it just to make sure they're extra safe.
They have the time. They have the
Look how far Toro is up on my list.
That was a
Ninjas are obviously superior.
Ninjas are obviously superior.
That's like a 6-minute item. I think
Well, apparently,
Violet
okay,
had
we got a
hers
jungle.
at the 5 or 6 minute mark.
Meow, what's going on?
Terrifying.
To be fair,
Meow, do you have Red Dead Redemption?
far ahead, currently
Yes.
at 8.7k gold, the most on the map.
Oh, it's not true. He got his rank breaker first, so never mind.
He's on clearing out this jungle.
On PS4?
No,
Other
Oh, no, that was a mistake. No, that was a
What
mistake.
on earth?
Oh,
No?
no, J-Jack,
I
you
got it
just
last
killed your
night.
teammate. Oh, no. See, that is a pure...
That's go time.
That's go
To
time.
To
That is
support,
a
let's go.
misconception.
I'm going
They
full
thought they were
damage.
farther up the head that, oh, 3v1, we can kill this Kilgroth. No, they can't. And that is the moment. In that instant, AHQ just realized... I don't
I'm
think
too
they can win
aggressive
this
to play
game.
like full damage though. I like to be in the scrum of the fights. I'm not good at like picking them off. I did okay last game picking some of them off, but I'm more like being like in the fray. Warrior style, not so much assassin
Clear
style.
the wave, giving a slight reprieve for AHQ, but they now have their back against the wall as Yuzon is
Oh,
pushing
yeah.
up the Drake. Another high ground
Gotta get the
tower
horror
is
makeup and
under
booty
threat.
shirt on.
J-Jack is there.
Subnautica is
J-Jack
so fun. I
gone.
wish Subnautica was
We're now
multiplayer.
seeing Winds pushing
Like I
up
understand
on
why
the
it's not.
as they
Don't
push
get me wrong. Like
onto
it
the
makes
core.
sense that it
Winds
is a
getting
solo
low, but he
experience,
survives.
but it's
Benny is
so
here,
fun.
full
Like it's
HP. The team is
so
with them.
fun.
If they want to, they could look to end.
Chaser and Sun, the two defenders right now. Will of
But if you're gonna stream, you gotta put the horror makeup and booby shirt on.
Slow and safe. They can
That's
pick
what
up
I got on
standing
right now.
gold on the map. They can pick up the Abyssal Dragon. They can guarantee that AHQ leave the AIC in third place.
No reason to throw, no reason to overextend. J-Team take a step back, look to reset here.
execute Chognar. I like it.
Is now down 2 high ground towers and about 10k gold. In what could be the
No, but
match
like
that
it's
sends them
so good. Like you get lost in it.
The brilliance that AHQ hold.
I'm kind of upset I stopped playing
As
it.
soon as they get an opportunity to play, they understand that the only way to win
Fuck,
this
excuse
game
me.
is by being able
Sorry.
to contest. That's why the UK are not setting the as far out as they can because they are a damn good team. I just don't think they're the greatest team in the world anymore.
Teams have caught back up.
My
Teams
path is clear.
have studied, they've researched, and a lot of things that age.
It's always a good sign when the top teams like rotate. It just shows you that there's a good, healthy, competitive field.
Yuzon is able to hold on 1v2 into the 1v3
There's the flank from J-Jack as well.
into the player. They should be able
Like
to
a
kill him,
leaf
but
on
instead
the
he walks
wind.
away at literally full HP.
Kilgroth does now. Benny's
So I
got
think I'm
himself
gonna go
a
rank
watch
breaker.
this change.
We're about to see a potential reinitiation
Gilded
on the flank.
Greaves.
Yuzon finds Sun. Sun is in a terrible position. Stars there. The JGC flickers over the wall. A little bit of miscommunication there.
Okay, Icon, don't watch the game right now. It's a blowout. You're gonna get fucked.
And now it's hunting season.
All it takes is Starlight.
One.
One power
Snake.
surge. Beautifully done.
Oh, he's on point right now, TJ.
4 players stand for AHQ for the defense of their AIC hopes.
The AIC hopes and possibly the hopes of their Arena of Valor pro careers hanging in the line right now. More than pride, more than money. Everything is on the line right now for AHQ. They have to hold this final high ground as we do have Benny here with the Nature's Realm. J-Jack is forced back, already so chunked. The branching out is here. And the high ground tower gonna go so
Man, you're just giving, you're just taking free damage.
Chaser is trying to get there to hold this line, but the final high ground tower does fall, and the minions are arriving.
There it
in
is.
force.
Good shit, dude.
J-Team are here to take away AHQ's title. You are
No, the Raz.
You aren't the reigning world champions anymore. If
Was a
this
nice
tower
peel by
push,
Raz.
this core push comes through.
There
Your
goes
weed
the
tastes
shot
like
for
pine
Winds
needles.
on the
That is
flank.
not
The
good.
minions are here. J-Jack is pushed out. Chaser in the back. The Dark Dominion is not enough, and Neil's here.
Extinguish the sun.
Pushing it
Do you
on the
guys- you guys
core.
have a
One
dispensary
more
there?
shot will make it real, and that is going to be it. GG take it 3-0.
3-0.
AHQ
J-Team.
leave the AIC 2018 in third place.
A prediction no
We're getting
one
fucked by the more.
weeks ago. One of the teams we predicted to take it all home. Falls here
Run.
in third
My
place.
path is
Not
clear.
even
My path is clear. What are my orders?
A devastating result for AHQ, and you can see that.
look at the body language of these players right now. They are
Yeah.
rejected. That is
Well, they won't.
how
They're
they
not
want
even
to
allowing
go.
people to open any more up because there's not enough weed.
Maybe in a
And I know you guys out
series,
east got
close,
some
hard-fought
like
battle,
moldy, shitty weed.
but not 3-0.
I mean, it hasn't affected me any.
Devastating result, and perhaps the end of an
An
era.
ally
The
has
GCS
been
champions,
defeated.
the AWC
Crack, dude.
champions, the
Strike
oh,
from
oh.
shadows.
2017 threats, the Korean region.
No.
Dominantly handshakes all
Red
round.
dance.
About
No.
the world champions. Best of luck. I'm sure they're giving
I want it.
from their league.
Ah.
GCS.
I just had don't have enough. Like I got them both so low.
Keep in mind, these guys are probably friends. They've been playing
Enemies
together all
missing.
season long. They know each
An
other. They've done this
enemy has
before.
been
This has been a battle
defeated.
back and forth all season long with the GCS. But now, a team that had a great run throughout the course of the season, but faltered at
An
the end up
enemy
against
has been
AHQ,
defeated.
found their redemption.
It's alright. I just need. I need some items.
So strong.
Once I get my rank breaker, especially, I'll be.
Hey, check out Yuzon.
Tread softly.
Said he's one of those inconsistently
Give it a whirl.
He's not inconsistently good. He's inconsistently the greatest side lane in the world.
Beautiful.
That game,
Fuck.
Series.
that series.
That wasn't close at all. I just got my ass
Yeah,
handed
it's
to
like
me.
you flip a switch, and it's either win or lose. There is no middle ground. If he's on, J-Team wins.
If it was 1v1,
Not
I would have taken him.
lose. It is
But
literally
Raz
that
showed up,
simple.
and I should have
In
expected
all
that.
3 games, they took a duct tape. They put it over the switch. They said, "Don't touch that. Leave it on."
3 deaths for J-Team, 2 on their assassin
Whoops.
mid lane,
An
Star,
ally
1 on
has
their
been
tank side lane
defeated.
wins. Yuzon, Neil, and Benny survive deathless.
AHQ only managed to get 10 kills in a
Retreat.
best-of-5 series. In 3 games, they only took 1, 6, and
Extinguish the
3
sun.
kills respectively. I cannot believe I'm saying that. J-Team are just looking on another level. Neil went off. He was kept safe. Benny was
An
the
enemy has
guardian
been
that
defeated.
every player playing ranked is hoping for. He is the support everyone thinks about when they're like, this is who I need right now in my ranked game.
My path is clear.
Benny is the goal.
I was criticizing
Your team
Dallas
has
play from
destroyed
yesterday.
a tower.
Benny Dallas didn't look so great.
Put him on
He's
Tanky Heroes.
consistently good.
Put him on Tanky Heroes, TJ.
Yeah, Benioff is back.
Oh, yeah.
And that was exactly what we saw during the group stage. That was what we saw when they were 3-0.
That was a nice ult by him.
That's what we've seen now. They're 3-0 people on their way. 1 game away from the grand final.
We can see from some of these replays here, it was moments like this. It was the collapse. Look at the timing. Every single time AHQ thought they were making the right call, they were not. J-Team had the response. They had the answer, able to convert these overextensions from AHQ.
No.
I
I didn't get my stun off.
You can see it here again. Every single time AHQ tried to make something happen, look, J-Team is just in a better position. They were expecting this. They're already here. The pincer movements were perfect.
Well, it was always the targets that were exposed. When AHQ
At least we're winning everywhere else.
vulnerable, it was sometimes their star players. It was sometimes Neil. It was sometimes, sometimes Rush. It was sometimes Hawk who'd overextended and were quite easy to punish.
Watch
Enemy's
our
missing, and
mind
it's a
on
Fed
your
more and
sight.
On J-Team. Instead,
Sorry, by the
players
way.
who were vulnerable, who you could collapse on were
They
either
should
the
kill him, though.
sidelines, wins and use on, or the tank Benny, and that meant that there was always Neil
Good
and
job.
Star to rotate.
Ozzy coming.
There was always the potential for more players to come in
Your
and deal
tower
damage
has
halfway
been
through a fight. They've
destroyed.
already
From the
invested so
shadows.
much into taking out these tanky players.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. Every single time it was like, well, we could try and kill this Malik, and they're like, good luck with that. Yes.
Yeah, right here. This is what you're talking about, actually. Exactly. Wins, stays alive for so long here, and I called it live. I said, there's no way
Like
he
a
dies
leaf
in
on the
time.
wind.
J-Team will at least get one on the trade because of the investment necessary. Well, that's just killing.
Oh, okay. I actually thought that J-Jack hooked him in right there on the dead side. He just killed Roth. Okay. I was like, you killed your teammate. You didn't actually. He arrived just in time to watch his friend die.
People sleep on Kilgroth because if you don't get this far ahead, he doesn't do this.
Yes.
But if you win the side lane, it is
Beautiful.
remarkably easy to get that far ahead.
That's a perfect Yuzon hero then, because if he gets ahead,
I can't help him.
when he's playing well,
An
put him on
ally
heroes that
has
can
been
carry in their own
defeated.
right. And that's as much as anything what J-Team was able to do. They created multiple threats. They created
Extinguish
heroes
the
that you
sun.
could
Yeah, like we
shut down
can't
and allow
even do this right now.
like this. There's 3 scenario situations, all smiles. They're feeling so good in some of the matches now. They can play like this in flashes.
Jesus.
Well, okay, are they though? Okay, maybe not. She much really blasted through Jay-Z yesterday, a 3-0. They've just sat here and watched all of that match. Maybe they're worried, but I certainly wouldn't say they're in trouble.
Okay, maybe those are strong words. You're right. Team Flash dominated both of the teams we just saw in that game. And that actually might affect HQ's confidence. Clearly, J-Team came back into it and said, look, we know we can recover. We've watched the highlight reels. We've watched the game tape. We know what we need to do. And now we're in a situation where we're looking at our grand finals. It is a best of 7.
Really, I would like to pay attention to that, but there's no reason why we need to at this moment.
Ever played, period, ever.
And you're Fennec, you can take it by yourself.
Clear.
There you go, throw your ult on it, kill Butterfly. Just like that, well done.
Going into this monstrous best of 7.
Well, I can't speak for the players because I'm not one of them. I'm certainly not good at Arena of Valor. But I did get to talk to them and I did get to watch them as they
Like a
headed into
leaf
the final.
on the wind.
And the biggest takeaway was from watching the Thai team, who of course were able to sit there and know that AHQ were winning the game and they couldn't play them. And the Thailand team sat there and got incredibly jittery. I was watching them in the row next to us and they started fidgeting and had a lot of time to think about all the things that could go wrong, and that's good because that's a lot of prep time. But also it definitely wears on your nerves. Now, any team at this point, that Talent World Cup team, AHQ, J-Team, or Team Flash, they're all experienced enough that it shouldn't make a big difference. And either way, it's a
No! I was using my ult, I'm supposed to get a shield from that.
facing off against Team Flash, titled the best team in Arena of Valor.
Must not have been a big enough shield.
You got it here. It's the AIC 2018 $250,000 up for grabs. We're going to hop onto a short break, but when we return, with no further ado, we're going to get into that grand final.
This has been a rough one. Morin and Raz are fucking some shit up. Nice. I'm gonna go split push, I think.
Orders. Extinguish the self.
An enemy
Nice.
has been defeated.
Beautiful. Tread softly.
Fuck. Every time I want to 1v1 somebody, there's always somebody else there. Fucking Morin's all over the map.
Shut down.
Butterfly's just building tanky.
Retreat. Retreat.
What are my orders?
Come on, Valheim.
My path is clear.
Be right back, 2 minutes.
Strike from the shadows.
Butterfly's gonna push on us.
Ultimate.
Leg dance.
You have defeated an enemy. Enemies missing.
Extinguish the sun.
Your tower has been destroyed.
Valheim's going back. He should be able to stop the high ground.
An enemy has been defeated.
Our high ground
Your
tower
team
is
has
being
destroyed
attacked.
a tower.
They ain't gonna be able to stop 2 waves.
Your team has destroyed a tower. Your team has destroyed a tower. Retreat. An ally has been defeated.
Beautiful.
An ally has been defeated.
Like a leaf on the wind.
Onslaught. Retreat. Rally.
My path is clear.
Retreat. Rally.
Ooh,
From the shadows.
just about, just about. Does Omni Arms work after each fucking dash? I gotta figure that out.
Extinguish the sun.
An enemy has been defeated.
What is this Fennec doing?
Like a leaf on the wind. Beautiful. Advance on the enemy.
Thought Morin just died.
Whirlwind. My path is clear.
Yeah, I'm going.
Strike from the shadows.
Retreat. Retreat.
Extinguish the sun. Give it a whirl.
You have defeated an enemy.
Tread softly.
Ooh, damn.
Starts now.
He almost got ripped by Darkslayer.
My path. Blade dance. Whirlwind.
An ally has been defeated.
Oh, god damn.
Oblivion.
You have been defeated.
Morin just destroys me if he gets me. I don't have any defense other than Sword of Longinus. Nicely done.
Dominated.
He had such a good start, such a head start for his team, but he didn't do anything with it. He was like 5-0 to start. 4-0.
What are my orders?
Your tower has been destroyed.
Everyone group in that lane, and I'll split this lane.
Strike from the shadows. Like a leaf on the wind. Give it a whirl.
No.
You have been defeated.
Whatever. Don't attack the core, dude.
Enemy has been defeated. Retreat.
Everybody always wants to just go rush the core. Like, don't. Take the other 2 lanes. We already have waves pushing. Just keep crashing them. Crash the waves together. Everyone just grouped in mid.
Shut down. An ally has
Here
been
comes the throw. The throw is real.
retreat. An ally has been defeated.
Extinguish the sun.
An enemy has been defeated.
Tread softly.
Beware of the brush. Retreat.
Beautiful.
Nope. I'm out. Fuck.
Your tower has been destroyed.
Wasted all that time grouped in mid doing absolutely nothing.
Strike from the shadows. Like a leaf on the wind.
Damn, I get destroyed like before I can even use my ultimate. Like I used it, but it didn't do shit. I thought you were supposed to get a shield from the more people you have in it. For every hero hit, and there's 3 in there, so that should have been 550 times 3, so like 1650 plus 660, like scaling. That should have been a ton.
Our high ground tower is being attacked.
I feel like building tanky is the way to go.
Your tower has been destroyed.
I can't blow anyone up.
What are my orders? Our high ground tower is being attacked.
Enemy ultimate.
Darkslayer's up.
My path is clear.
Rally! Rally for a team
Extinguish the sun.
Fuck, get me out of there. No. I didn't even get the kill on that. Is Will streaming at the same time? I don't know, man. I usually try to plan it and stream when he's not on, but I didn't know he was on. Pretty much the more exposure that we can get this game, the better, though. So I encourage everyone to stream this if they can.
2018. We are now live with your grand final here in Thailand. It's a pleasure to be here. The English language broadcast, and I have to say, these games have been at a level we have not yet seen in AOP.
So far, every game has been consecutively greater than the previous. And the start of this weekend was the best game of Arena of Valor I'd ever seen to date.
We are on this, I don't even know how to describe the upward trajectory that we are on, the exponential growth.
A train that goes uphill.
Yes. No, it's straight vertical, it's a space elevator. That's what teacher feels. I want to get into this grand final. Things are getting crazy, teacher.
Pretty sure you're full build, Valheim, yeah.
While I too wish we were in space, we're actually here in Burbank, casting this amazing event, bring you the English language broadcast. I know, right?
Give it a whirl.
You have defeated an enemy.
Let's fucking go. That's what I'm talking about. How did he get out? Oh, because I turned my attention to Morin and Butterfly.
Like a leaf on the wind.
It is
J-Team blasted through AHQ. There's no better way to put it. 3-0. Now going into this best-of-7 grand final, they need to beat the team that 3-0 clean swept them yesterday.
An enemy has
Flash
been
looked so
defeated.
good whilst beating both J-Team and AHQ
An
back to
ally
back.
has been defeated.
One more time, walk away with the best team that we know about.
I feel like AHQ felt that loss. For the set, white is clean, white is polished. Their drafts were good, but they weren't excellent. And it
My
seems
path
like
is
J-Team
clear.
An enemy has been
drafting
defeated.
standard, identifying who needed to be on those key core picks, and it really just came down oftentimes to supporting those key backline carries. Benny, in particular, someone we have to talk about.
I think most importantly,
Extinguish the
not just
sun.
Benny, but most importantly,
Whirlwind.
was able to step up behind Benny. It wasn't just all of a sudden but now it was the support by the back line.
Here we go.
It wasn't just finding poke on the
Ultimate.
Alice
That's what I'm
like
talking
it was,
about.
during
Come here.
previous days, but he was finding
Fuck, I ran right into a fireball.
Your team has destroyed.
Whatever, that should be game though.
It was secure. They had it in writing.
Save? No. That should be game.
Every single
GG.
time they needed it, the damage was there.
Oh, I had a really, really, really rough start to that one.
Ultimate.
Are we not winning this?
Flash are the best team in the world right
Oh, Valheim. Ooh, they want that kill.
now. Might beat
They want that extra kill.
and they beat both. Now, when this clear wasn't the grand final, that's what a best of 7 is for. Make sure that there's absolutely no doubt in the world
No questions asked.
who deserves the lion's share of that $600,000 prize pool. But I think it is fair to say that having beat both teams, they are the expected.
Shit, my phone is ringing. Give me a second.
I would agree. I mean, you have to look at this on paper. The last time these
I need
teams
to take
fought,
this
it
call.
was a 3-0. It was a decisive victory for Team Flash. However, I'm a big proponent of talking about momentum. And we just saw J-Team upset AHQ, well, upset in many people's opinions, AHQ 3-0, dominant victories. They only gave up 10 deaths. 10, I can count on both hands.
Really?
10 deaths in both games. well, all 3 games, the entire set. That is an incredible feat in and of itself. That alone deserves a level of respect. But now you're adding to this the energy they must be feeling going to this. And again, they lost to HQ. They've lost to HQ before, and they were able to overcome it. They've lost to Team Flash. Will they be able to do it again?
A lot of that, for me, rests. We were talking about how it wasn't just Benny anymore. It was the whole team. Some of that was Neil. Some of that was Star. Star kind of changed his functionality in the team, or more accurately, arrived at the accurate functionality for his role in the roster. He was able to find big assassination picks. Here playing the mid lane, he's going to be going head-to-head with XB, who we saw absolutely tear up his own games yesterday. That is going to be an insane mid lane matchup to watch.
Every single one of these matchups we could profile, we could highlight, we can talk until we're blue in the face. TJ, let's just get into this grand finals. Let's get things going. The players are ready to go. And we're about to witness history here in Thailand.
ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับยอดนักกีฬาทั้งสองทีมเข้าสู่การแข่งขันรอบ Grand Final This victory is not so far. There's nowhere left to hide. You know where you belong now. Accepting your surrender. Infinity is not so far. Fight me, you know I'm ready. Introducing the finalists. Are you ready?
I know I'm ready, TJ. I'm ready to get into this grand final. I don't think I'm ready. I have never seen an esports opening like that before in my life. The confetti is already flying. And nobody's even won yet, TJ. We haven't even started playing. This is absolutely wild. I need more of this. I've had big drums. I need full rock bands more in my life on the main stages of more grand finals. They do it right in Thailand.
I think this is quite possibly one of the closest finals I've ever seen. To date, it was AWC finals. It's incredibly quick. This is going to be absolutely on par.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about these teams, TJ, as we're getting set for this final match.
Vietnam Team Flash.
Khi mà được vào chung kết thì lúc đấy thì mình chỉ giơ tay như này rồi là kiểu cảm xúc của mình lúc đấy thì
และคงจะปิดเกมเลยเอาแล้วครับวินาทีนี้สำหรับสายบอลทั้งทีม JT
Yeah, if you want to join.
也很兴奋。
It was a weird match.
thì
Not much is new, man. Not much is new. Just
đấu trường chuyên nghiệp
working,
thì
chilling, doing my thing. What's your
nghĩ là em có thể có ngày hôm nay.
แม้ว่าบัฟจะอยู่ฝั่งตรงข้ามแต่ไอเทมครับอยู่กับผมครับและตอนนี้ทีมแปดเริ่มไล่หัวทีละตัวต่อและ ADC มาปาดเข้าไปครับและพยายามจะยื้อไว้แต่ตอนนี้ความได้เปรียบตกไปอยู่ทางฝั่งทีมแปดครับและเนวกำลังจะตายและกระโดดหนีไม่ทัน
Mình có thể mạnh không, đầu tiên là không nghĩ là team mạnh như vậy, nhưng sau thời gian luyện tập nhiều thì bọn em tự dưng mạnh lên đánh thắng thì không biết như nào, phải nói như nào.
โอ้ไปรอก่อนเลย
What do you like to play?
像我们在比赛当中有拿到优势，可是我们没有把握住，就错失一场赢比赛的机会。FL 队伍嘛，就是他们的打野对还蛮厉害的，因为很难抓得到他的动向。
แต่ว่าอยู่ตอนขวาอยู่ตรงนั้นและเป็น
Triple Q, let's go.
với team，就是因为我们有在比赛中输过他们一次嘛，那在决赛当中，我当然是想要再获胜一次回来。
Dây team AQ team nào cũng được, vào hết đây.
เพียงเดียวเท่านั้นที่จะเป็นเจ้าของถ้วยอันทรงเกียรติใบนี้ กับ AIC
AIC 应该就是对所有
The name sounds familiar, yeah.
是一个
Yeah, I remember.
最大的舞台。đây là lần đầu tiên tôi đến với đấu trường quốc tế và đây cũng sẽ là nơi để tôi chứng minh cho cả thế giới biết tôi là người đi rừng số 1 thế giới.
That Will's good shit.
Lý do ngày hôm nay tôi chiến thắng bởi vì tôi đẹp trai.
虽然大家都说我是最佳辅助，可是我还没到世界冠军之前。
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to carry me this game.
Dù bạn là ai, bạn cũng không thể lấy được chức vô địch của chúng tôi.
我会成为你路上的绊脚石。
Damn, they're cocky. Confident, cocky, I like it.
I always love hearing what these players have to say going into this match.
Reading what they have to
It's
say.
almost getting some insight into the player
There's
mindset.
no way you fucking understood a word he just said.
More humble, need to let their gameplay do the talking, and
There's no space for humble teams here. These are all competitors. Have you been watching the same videos I've been?
look, there's a little bit of trash talk, but it's also exactly what we like to see. We like
I
to
want to
see
zip this. No, I want to zip this
because at the end
jungle.
of the day, what's playing video games if you can't have a little bit of trash talk?
Nothing.
Yes.
And JT
Wrestling needs trash talk like the wrestling used to have in the back in the day. You need to have the bad guys. You need to start the beef and
Team Flash are ready to go, and they kind of just need to do the same thing they did.
Hulk
earlier
Hogan
with
that
J-Team
shit.
Until J-Team proved that they figured out a counter to it. During that group stage, we saw J-Team lose a lot of macro, lose a lot
she
of
played a pretty
power.
good Juggernaut, yeah.
That was kind of the key.
Juggernaut's really good. People, I don't think people understand it.
And once they were able, it felt like to force
They don't really
J-Team
understand
to
his,
like things
maybe
that
not so much his solo
really
queue, but in like
easily
competitive
punish
play,
that, and
definitely.
Team Flash, I think, solidly win almost every draft.
I would agree. I feel like
They don't have a
draft is
jungler.
just a little bit above everyone else's. We'll see if the research has been done.
Yukihira,
overnight.
Ryoma. This guy's best Ryoma,
NA.
NA.
That advantage to at least bring them back on par. I would also argue that
I
the
gotta
area
watch
they were
him
weakest going into this
if I can pick
was
up
that
some
early game,
tricks.
which they just demonstrated they can do
Yeah.
against HQ. But if both teams have weak early games and one suddenly steps up, you still need a little bit farther to go to face Team Flash.
We talk a lot about the transitive property. We say,
Yes.
well, if this team can beat this team, then who beats this team? Well, J-Team lost to Team Flash, but AHQ did better against Team Flash than J-Team did against Team Flash. But J-Team just beat AHQ.
But they both lost to Team
But they did both
Flash.
lose to Team Flash.
Transitive property not quite effective in this scenario.
The point is, it could go either way because we've seen
Yeah, we
Team
won
Flash,
already. Like,
struggle occasionally against AHQ.
well, they have
and AHQ just got wiped.
that guy's like
by
Asian
a team
Italian,
that looked entirely in control.
Misaka
They're able to do
Shioli.
that to AHQ, then surely their mentality and perhaps their research has improved tremendously since yesterday.
But one team has just played
Welcome to
three
Arena of
incredible games.
Valor.
They are warmed up.
hear
They're
hell
hot.
is
They're ready to
very
go. The
pleasant
other
this
just had to
time of
watch
year.
it happen and try and predict what comes
5
next.
seconds.
Let's get into it. Our grand final is here. Right now, the AIC, Team Flash, J-Team. It all comes down to this.
And I could not wish for a better final. It's not the final any of us predicted.
And you see,
Not the
whenever you
final
see
that
these
any
like
of us
competitive
thought
events,
would come
people
through.
always
Actually
like mimic what they do in the
hypothesized
competitive
that
events
J-Team might
afterwards.
be in the final. That was it.
That was it.
I did not predict that it would be J-Team and Team Flash, and maybe on retrospect I should have. Maybe I was vastly underestimating Team Flash because they have looked dominant throughout all of the group stage, throughout all of the semi-final stage, and I don't see that changing.
Keep up.
We looked into this, you know, going into these games. Had some moments. I wasn't sure. Even when they were playing up against Flash Wolves to get here, I thought the others that
Whoops.
Flash might not be able to do it. They have looked so consistent.
I think the number one thing from Team Flash coming into this has been how well they've played this season. They've consistently been able to leverage even when some players don't show up, others do. Team Flash always have someone else who steps up, be it Datcoin from the bot lane, XB from mid, or ADC dominating in jungle.
Datcoin has stepped up so much. There's so many other big
Well, this
names
Fennec
on
wants to
that team.
die.
It was a bit of a question mark for me. Well, that question mark has turned into an exclamation point. This play speaks for itself.
And especially as you saw during that game versus EU.
You know he's gonna push up again.
Like a 13 KDA by the end of it.
It was absolutely silly. Even against Flash Wolves, this is the game I was actually talking about. I thought Flash Wolves had the potential to take it from them here, but Team Flash proved me wrong. We see again, Pro needs fresh play. I think it's been a staple of this roster, and it's so terrifying to deal with.
I believe this was the group stage game as well that we're watching. So this was very early on. And, well, it certainly looked close, but close was not enough.
Close was not enough.
And that actually raises some questions for me about Flash Wolves, because we saw Flash Wolves get beat by Team Flash and said, oh, well, you know, they tried their best, but they're a mid-level team at best. And then Team Flash have gone through and beaten everyone else. Maybe Flash Wolves bringing that close means they're mighty hard done by.
I was going to say, maybe Flash Wolves were this low-key all-star.
Gotta wait for the roll, man. Gotta wait for the roll.
This far into the game. That was Flash. Going up against a solid opponent in their own right here, but this roster,
you got boots already?
They are
She does have boots already.
every single
That was like
What's
bad timing.
unique about the squad is that they tend to go off in tandem. It's not
We
just
both
one,
ganked at
they
the same time.
combine,
She dove on my backline. I dove on her backline.
They synergize together in ways that you do not expect, and they make these plays look easy.
And I'll actually give credit to their coach for that.
But
You have defeated an enemy.
she was low from that, and I wasn't.
I absolutely
And she
think
stuck
that
around.
He's done wonders for this team because their
So
synergized
I'll
play
take
of
it.
Macro has looked insane. We talk about macro, overall map control. Both micro play, there's macro play, and Team Flash have done a really good job of that. They constantly have threats in the bot lane, and they'll manage them. So
Oops.
whilst Dakoi is pushing them as Dragon lane, they'll have pressure elsewhere from ADC and XP rotating to challenge up top, find an extra Dragon, an extra Dark Slayer. That kind of overall map control is very hard to coordinate.
It is indeed. We thought that AHQ were the masters of macro. We saw maybe JT masters of macro. No, it is shown that Team Flash is still even one further step ahead. They've proven that it's not about necessarily how much you get out of your team, it's also how much you deny your opponents from getting. And that's something they've done exceptionally well here. Every single time they make one small, tiny motion that has ripples that echo across the game.
Give me the roll, Fennec.
Consistently determine the meta going forward. The strategies that were run in the AWC finals permeated around the competitive scene and reverberated.
The lanes are all pushing up.
You're gonna feel the reverberations, the tremors of the earthquake that the AIC for months to come. Well,
ready to be shook.
Already shook. This grand finals is gonna be crazy.
The major thing I want to highlight
Enemies
from this
missing.
roster, if we can, is I want to talk about Dakoi. Because there was a lot of emphasis placed on
Yes.
and we didn't really necessarily bring that. We were sitting here giving each other quizzical looks.
No, dude, get away from me! Oh.
With the bot laner, but typically you see that Dragon lane side.
Like, I didn't really want to just leave him, like, kill him, but...
Most of the split pushing will happen up in the top lane.
What am I doing? What am I doing? He's got her all. I'm fucked. Lumia, a stun would be nice. I'm dead anyway. I'm not dead.
But Dakoi has been exceptionally good during these last few games, especially
Good shit.
not just joining the team fights, but finding map control pressure, even in that overpopulated lower quadrant of the map.
I think part of the reason why he does that is the hero selection that he pulls out.
I'm
It's
really
Elsu,
overdue
Solanas,
for a
heroes that can do
vacation.
damage at range. They can keep the threat up. They can be pressure on the map. No, put themselves in a terrible position. Why the side laner 4.23 ADA is stellar in that Dragon lane. Because of course, as you mentioned, he's getting into scraps. He's getting into fights.
Yeah, oftentimes you'll see that
I hear hell
Come
is
top.
very
down there, or
pleasant
at least
this time of
characters
year.
with disengaged tools. You put a Malik, you put a Marja there, because there, like we said, are going to be a lot of emphasis around that side of the map. Because of this Dragon being such a popular early game objective, so you want someone who can constantly be getting into fights and surviving.
An ally has
Telenar
been
doesn't
defeated.
have
Thank
that
you.
potential to
Please
take these
stop.
brawls
I'm
and
not paid
come
to
away
chase.
healthy. Keep up, This Telenar absolutely does.
His position is so
The tower
good.
has been
It's
destroyed.
clean. He never steps away. It's, you know, it takes 2 steps forward if 1 step will do. And then I
Go
think
to
it's
Lumia.
really sort of watching Team Flash more. It's their economy of motion that sets them apart from all these other
Nothing
teams. They're so
personal, just
effective.
doing
Everything they do
brush.
is just enough to get the job done. But over to the side, their opponents. We've talked up Team Flash. We've talked
Why did
about
that
how
not
good they've looked.
auto-aim on her?
And we have to talk about their opponents. The teams we just saw. 3
That's why I don't use auto-aim.
AHQ defending champions.
Ally has been defeated.
Jade Here they are blasting through ALG. Painful moment for the NA fans.
Go!
Reminds it.
Best Ryoma, NA.
Not terrible, given how far they've gone afterwards. So much for JT comes from, I think, their inconsistency. Their inconsistency is just as much a strength as consistency.
Or retreat from shit.
Summarize it as because
They retreat from me.
you look at JT and you say, oh, they're incredibly consistent. They just grind out games. But it's more than that. They're incredibly flexible in how they do it. Because they do play their slow, steady style consistently. But sometimes it's off the back of use, hard winning is left. Sometimes it's instead Benny on the support finding ridiculous engages. Sometimes they rely on Star from mid to
I don't have any mana. Otherwise I would go fully ham on that shit.
to play with any of those star players or any combination thereof makes them a terrifying roster because they're very difficult to predict.
They're so tough to deal with. And you talk about their consistency, and yes, well, I believe that is true. I feel like it's those moments of inconsistency that really do hurt them. I talked about the switch, the use-on switch. When he is on, he is the best side laner on Earth. But when he's not, he's definitely a factor in those teams, the games his team loses, because there's no option. He doesn't play well, and the team loses. It is either or.
And we talk sometimes
We need to distract him.
the stage affecting people's nerves.
Yes, land jitters are a real thing.
Sometimes, though, they do the opposite way. And
Land
so far, Yuzon has looked better on final day than he has throughout the rest of the AIC.
Very pleasant.
He played one set today, and he was more impactful than almost every other top laner at the AIC combined.
He almost didn't die that set. That was yeah, he won
No!
An enemy has been defeated.
Did I get a triple on that?
Of course, Benny wins star. Yuzon. This roster is so incredible. Wins though. As much as we can rave about
Let's
everyone
go,
else, we
baby.
rave
Somebody's
about
gotta stop.
you, we rave
Okay,
about
you guys are
Star.
going.
We talked about Benny and Yuzon.
The winds of change blowing through our bracket.
They are. Because when he steps up, it's absolutely incredible to watch. He takes the game in the palm of his hands and just carries it over to the win pile, and he drops it and he says, this is my game now.
And that's difficult because of the bottom
Actually,
lane. Just talked about the effectiveness of that coin, and that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch.
I think one of the matchups to watch.
Typically, your bot lane player, again, you rely on them to anchor, you don't worry about them split laning too much. Wins plays that playstyle to a T. He plays very defensive, sits behind tower, until a team fight
I
comes.
ain't stopping that.
Arrived perfectly on time, right on the side of the fight, using his character to maximum efficacy.
A wins is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. And when he shows up in these fights, it's incredible. But another player who shows up in a big way, and it has to be Neil. One of the reasons they won that last set so well off the back of his Zephys, that was probably the best Zephys I have ever seen in professional Arena of Valor, played to a T by this man right here.
Constantly able to find extra pressure into the enemy jungle. And that extra pressure really paid off for them.
Messenger.
I would agree. I think that pressure that he was able to execute as an additional frontliner was so huge in the impact of these fights. Zephys went in, he survived the stage, got the deaths from both and it was really scary to watch. Yes.
Don't let the butterfly pop off. How did that happen?
I just love this whenever I see esports players doing it.
Oh my god.
The camera's on them. They know that they're the star player. That camera pointing at them is 100% live. You can wave into it.
I love that.
It's a display of self-confidence. And now, knowledge of your own superiority is reinforced by the stat line.
That butterfly turned that whole fight around.
Playing very, very well in the back lines of both teams.
So you're now sitting at a point on this stage where it's you in your role and your opponent across the aisle in his. You think to yourself, one of us, me or you, is the best player at this position on Earth. And that's a statement right there. That's a feeling to know that you are that high up. You're at the literal top of your game. It does not get higher than that. And yes, sometimes it's hard to open water bottles, but other times it's easy to win games of AO. Keep up! Well, he was really trying.
Hey, that's not what he's here to do. He's a specialist.
Yes. Taps buttons. Putting bottles not in his playbook. What is in the playbook is winning on the red side, apparently, for both of these teams. An 89% win rate from Team Flash.
And we've seen that. The exception of course being AHQ. Yeah. Did much better on blue side, but typically the way the draft works, the 1-2 from the right side that you get from being on red gives you a extra benefit because you're able to lock in a core of your team in that first draft rotation.
Go mid, look out mid.
Nothing personal. Just do
towards Mr. Dragon's stat as well. Not only do you have the different sides having those different advantages, but there's also ways to maybe how you get these Mr. Dragons steady.
Oh my god, they're all in here.
Dark Slayer, I
would be astounded if it wasn't around the 1.0 one. You can see that J-Team again a little bit less emphasis on the Dark Slayer, which I think won that last set.
Yeah.
That's because they typically play, once again, very counter pressure heavy comps. Yeah. So they'll consistently not need it. If they do need it, things have gone wrong. They're in the hyper late game where they have no overbreak into the enemy core.
Yeah, I think they maybe got one for neither. I think we have two for sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think they even got one.
Pretty much.
No, they did.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Yeah. Yeah, they got one.
No, we definitely should have backed off a little.
Statistics overall, but this is anyone's game, and of course.
We got one carry, so we kind of need to like not fight when our carry's not there, which was our bad. Because we almost got 2 items.
They're the best team in the world.
Got it. So we get into these first bands, Valheim and Lindis.
I hear hell is very pleasant this time of year.
Means though the Ignis comes through late, so it's going to be Elsu or Richter led through. Normally I'd say, well, obvious, you ban out the Richter, and I think that's still true. But I think it's more pervasive in this matchup. Oh, never mind. I was going to say J-Team.
We can keep the Slims alive. We win this. Like, just kill Butterfly first and foremost.
Both teams play Elsu. These are really the only
what are you doing, Ryoma? Stick with your team. Like, I can handle the Terra one-on-one.
So
are we going to gank her?
Be a question mark on this draft. Again, there's a reason I highlighted that here at the start of the day.
I'm really overdue for
I thought I...
It's 9 Superman rounds on the same side. I'm a fan of that. Superman being played
I did buy that a long time ago, but I didn't finish it.
That's going to be to Star. We saw Star absolutely step up on the character for J-Team. You got that side lane assassination potential. The ability to assassinate into the side lanes from a mid laner is huge because it gives the team an extra burst of damage, an extra roaming burst of damage. If you're trying to play side lane marksman, the ability of Star to come up on the Raz is very powerful. And they'll have a side
Retreat, man. They got Dark Slayer. We don't want to fuck with them.
Here, that coin. It's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. Talk about this mid lane matchup. We have to talk about it. And you talk about the Raz. Who's he going up against? Is that XB over there? Is that the God King himself, XB?
Please,
Flash,
don't shoot the messenger.
Solid mid laners. Yep. Stars have moments of quiet.
Yeah. It's like in Red High School. XB is an incredibly good mid laner because he plays a very similar style. Lots of burst damage coming through. So we have 2 burst damage playing on 2 teams that tend to draft relatively lightweight colors. This is going to be a
while we highlighted so many other matchups, side lane, jungle,
fuck.
as important as
I tried.
An ally has been defeated.
You know, again, Yuzon has locked in his pick. We do have
An ally has been
so we do
defeated.
have the Beneth and the Omen here as well.
Enemy double.
Full mana.
J-Team was doing in that last set.
Almost full health.
So much success, but on the other
Illumia.
side, a lot of these picks are very much comfort picks for Team Flash as well. But the mid TJ.
Yeah, that net will help enable mid a ton, and I'm very
You're dead.
excited
You're
to
so
see
dead.
whether or not Chaos.
Ooh, we got the shield. Don't matter.
For 2 reasons. One, melee has been a strength of ADC, and it's something that Neil has struggled to flex to. Secondly, if they are concerned about protecting that coin, taking away the correct before banning phase, it kind of functions as a secondary. Love this. It's a threat. It's a denial. It's a statement piece.
Magong at 34% damage, almost 35% damage to healers.
Well, more of a Swiss Army knife, I guess.
I wasn't, branding, but
because the pocket knife would just have a knife.
Sure. Gotcha. Zephyrs will be the first ban.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Flash
Don't give that to Neil. Don't give that to Neil.
That was when Neil ran very well alongside the Kriknak, so they're worried about the dive potential from Neil. Because those have been kind of the only 2 melees he's consistently played well, though. Kriknak and Zephyrs. Now they can target this next ban. I would look for it to a Lindis if you're still worried about jungle. And then maybe ADC is able to pick up.
Yeah, we didn't have enough damage. I didn't even look, but I feel like our Illumia wasn't doing a whole lot of damage. Rioma was 0-5 to start. Just one of those rough games.
Which means that they can instead worry about what else he might run. That means the Violet's still on the cards, but he'll ban out Batman instead. It's been a mid-target for JT to keep up with the Liliana that would play mid for XP so well. His options look a little limited. I'd say Kali, Tulin.
Kali was what I was leaning towards here as well, but that might be a little tough. Tulin would synergize a little bit more. What Team Flash is putting together here. I like this in net though. That's actually what Team Flash was hovering there. CJ Team wasn't able to see that, but they're reading into that really, really well.
I think I picked up a few tricks from that guy on how to play Rioma.
Flash draft. They're happily taking the Alice as well. Having that hezzy fit to not only create space, zone, chain the CC.
Am I gonna have to jungle?
Some of these easy snipes for that Elsu.
And we've seen those setups work very well. Number one problem with Elsu, it's really difficult to land those snipes. The skill shot is one of the hardest in the games to land for good reason. This is one of the most devastating. To be able to combo it with good stun potential and good dive potential is good. One of the other reasons why ADC flexing over to this crit knack is so cool in this matchup is because it gives them pursuit options. Decoy tags someone down to half HP. They have the dive necessary to punish that now low HP character.
They do indeed. One of the things I'm finding really interesting about this draft, really considering what they want to try and run,
should be a Violet.
It should be the Violet. Could be a Zill.
All right, I'd go for the Zill either way.
Yeah, I like the Zill. Yeah, the Zill's the better pick here, for sure.
The Zill does have the downside that they can be bullied in the enemy jungle.
That is true.
Because the Zill needs quite a decent amount of farm to get going.
He needs 3 items. Yeah, maybe 4. One of the things I like about J-Team's draft is I very much understand what it is. It's got a good front line, it can dive, it gets a little bit of poke, not too much. They do want to go in, they can execute and commit. However, Team Flash's draft, a lot of the members do want to go in. The Craig9 wants to go in, the Superman wants to go in, the Alice is going to try and toe the line and defend that, but they have a very squishy backliner here that they need to simultaneously try and defend, but then also maybe ignore and just focus on kills. It seems like it's a little bit distracting.
We just got to keep that butterfly off of our Fennec and our Yorn.
Flash demonstrated that they can work with this playstyle before, because Datcoin was so successful at using the character in a very similar matchup, constantly being able to kite and find ranged poke damage on the Elsu, while simultaneously not getting engaged against.
And also finding those opportunities in auto attack.
Welcome to Arena of Valor.
And he was playing within melee range. And there's now extra burst damage.
I am but a drifting shade.
I don't know. Ability to dive, ability to play a little bit safe.
I feel like Riom is much better in the side lane.
A little bit of early game focus though, with the exception of Datcoin. They're gonna struggle a little bit towards the lane.
Fennec should go mid. Either of them should go mid.
That's gonna get dangerous. Superman will get tanky damage off. If he's not able to get out ahead, the Kreknak will struggle to do much to get lane game.
Yeah,
Naginata Jutsu.
But if any player is able to make it work, Team Flash on the other side, J-Team. Defensive composition, a little bit tankier with this triple, or sorry, I should say quad pseudo melee draft. Might have a little bit of an issue with the amount of poke that's coming their way. If the Elsu is allowed to free reign on them, yes, they're going to have more HP overall to work with. They might get chucked when it starts.
I don't really know who the Elsu spends a lot of their time targeting them, because Crashed, I guess Omen is the most obvious answer, but Crashed, Yveneth are the
Why can't I have nice things?
characters that just shrug off any Elsu snipes. The Ram has enough mobility that it's
Bitch is annoying.
hard to land those shots. I generally think that the Elsu target there could be a lot of reliance on those auto attacks for sustained damage rather than first.
I agree. This is going to be an interesting matchup for him, trying to find the squishy targets that don't exist. So we get into game
I didn't hit her with
one
that?
of the
Fuck.
grand finals of the AIC J-Team, Team Flash, TJ. Let's get into it.
7 games to go. $1,000 total prize pool.
I've got a lot of blood.
Best of 7. Grand final starts now. Let's
It
go.
all comes down to this. Months, maybe even years for some of these players in the making. At least 1 year in the making. Kenjutsu, our very final major event here from 2018
Crixie's rotating down bot.
Enemies missing.
Thailand. And both of these teams have absolutely earned their spot. No questions asked.
But dude, get out. She's got her ult. She's got everything still.
To achieve the spot.
Run, my friend.
They
Run.
both should be proud of their accomplishments, but
You're just
I don't
poking
think
her.
that's enough. I don't think they want to just be proud of, oh, they made it to the final. No, no. They want to be the grand
I
champions.
am but a drifting
JT came in
shade.
second and GCS Summer. And they proved they don't want to come in second anymore, taking out AHQ, the team that beat them there. Now they have an opportunity perhaps to come in first place in the AIC.
Already getting bullied back in mid is stars. That never happened in the entirety of that last set up against AHQ. Already, XP is showing his prowess.
Look at them rotating the Elsu here. Team Flash want to bring the Elsu to the mid lane. I'm not really sure why, if they're swapping lanes, or if they have
Like, Yorn should go down with our Chugnar and,
They're not able to find it. J-Team is playing very defensive.
what's his face?
Coming out from ADC that finally has that drone drop online. Not wanting to
Fennec should go mid while Terra goes top against Ormar.
5 seconds.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, did he snipe that?
No. It did still get taken, but
I've got a
was
lot
that
of blood
unnecessarily
on my
close?
hands.
That was way too close, giving us heart attacks already to start this game. Fighting up against Galish. Quite a good job starting this off there in the position. We've seen the Crash flex both as a support and as a side laner here. And when you give him a little bit more farm, I'm definitely a big fan of that.
The Crash is
Enemies
very powerful
missing.
in the early game because of the Metamorphosis. The HP bonus that the Metamorphosis gives them starts to wear off towards the late game as other
Do you
characters
not
are just
hear the
equally
ghosts?
tanky, but for their entire duration of it. At that point, you're most looking for wins to be able to use that
An
ult.
enemy has been defeated.
If anyone's going to find it, it's the two supports side by side as well as players. In this case, we're playing this game, looking at one of the best Fresh in the world.
No!
Which also means paper. Team Flash should have
An
exactly
enemy has
what they
been defeated.
Benny working away in this Abyssal Dragon, poking. Reset. I think that was Storm actually drew aggro. I don't really know.
Did he hit it with a
It
I
shouldn't
walk
work like that
alone.
because they changed so it goes from
proximity
nearest
and
range.
range? That was very strange.
I don't know if they predicted.
I'm not going in.
Now they're
I don't have any health to deal with it.
I think he was closer.
Should have reset this side.
Bush, and they were on the other side of the Abyssal.
Yeah, that was an interesting position. Now the fight is breaking up. The snipe going on
Datcoy.
from Datcoy connecting. On the back of this, the rest of J-Team is collapsing. Looking to counter kill on the ADC. Back to fantastic, but more spins. All of this getting into great initial damage to stars. You want to Nature's Realm now being activated for Benny. Chunking on through Bro. He's the target. Datcoy advancing a little bit too far forward. Not connecting though is Raz. Datcoy will escape.
A devastating fight from Team
Blue
Flash.
just came up,
They
but
lose
that's fine. I don't even need
the
blue.
major
Yorn's dead.
Sources ADC from the jungle
But a
goes down,
drifting
XP
shade.
from mid goes down. Datcoy did land this time. That's how they found their opener, but very little else went their way.
It's all about this metamorphosis, splitting up the fight just enough to start things off. They grouped so much. Team Flash took so much splash damage in the course of this fight. The AoE prowess coming up. I don't know why. They had no reason to swap that much.
Because of the history, they can take final top for his finish. Should have gone their way, frankly. So because XP dying so fast, they didn't actually leverage the benefit of it nearly as much as they
Has
hoped
been
to.
defeated.
And not having a second front line meant they
Nice
lost
rotate.
a sustained fight versus Benny and Williams.
Yeah, they have no real
Do
tank.
you not hear the
Superman not
ghosts?
here, and even with Superman there, he hasn't really reached the point yet where his health is really substantial. Which means that in this early game, actually, throughout the course of this game,
Your team
very
has
healthy
destroyed a
target from
tower.
J-Team. I think it's really also going to limit the viability of this Elsu.
They didn't successfully assassinate Neil.
I've got a lot of
Now they go with some gold game. I can't see ADC roughly on par with them right now.
Indeed. Now we're looking towards these snipes. We've seen some crazy snipes onto these Abyssal Dragons. This ADC is also going to look to try and go in here. This bit is being dropped. There's the Metamorphosis. No, but Datcoy still snipes it, still finds the opening, takes it on through. This man is an Elsu god.
Perfect timing as well on the
I walk
Metamorphosis
along
from
the
wins, but it doesn't matter. Still, the Abyssal Dragon goes over to Team Flash.
Yeah, the carpet came down, the wave came through. Datcoy was pushed up against the wall, but in his falling back moment, he pulled the trigger, the bullet came down the chamber and found the snipe on the Abyssal
You
Dragon.
have
ADC
defeated
with a
an
leap in
enemy.
mid, followed by the snipe, but it's not a good call.
Uh-oh. Hissy Fit in the back, but that Nature's Realm from Benny every single time he presses that ultimate.
The follow-up was not.
Got him.
The idea was ADC opens up the fight, and in that time, Dakoi is able to find damage from range. But consistently, we've seen ADC just melt. He goes in versus tankier characters, and they don't have enough burst for the game plan to work.
They don't have the burst, but somebody who does is XB chasing down Benny there. Pro-E is stuck under his tower. The zone is coming to win. Pro-E does fall. ADC can't do anything into the sheer amount of HP that he has at his disposal. He fails to help out his tower.
Damn, I punished that and you still got him.
Definitely knock wins low, but they won't be able to do much else than that.
Is
there no one else?
Demon Spanky, my friend, thank you for that follow.
Is there no one else?
Pretty much across the board, I'd say the biggest problem is that Dakoi slightly behind his opponent in lane. That's a 3 assists. The difference made there as wins on the crash has been relevant.
Uh-oh. Oh, thank. Thank you.
Double kill.
Defensively behind 2 towers, allowing Yuzon to cut his way because he can't really pull his.
It's a Fennec?
As Superman.
Ooh, my boy.
That is the hard counter.
I've got a lot of blood on my hands.
Fennec's got a lot of blood on his hands too.
Counters really hard to go. So it's hard to make it. It's hard to make it out like that. He does get wave up against the tower though. Yuzon and Neil might just get the tower. This was Benny's zone. That was impeccable from JT.
That was absolutely stellar, Benny. Just
Do you
split it
not
up
hear the
perfectly.
ghost?
And Neil, with crew, just in there. Yuzon, able to just take these towers so easily. That is the power of this moment. He is a split push beam.
Because Benny comes from the flank there for the time to cut off. Oh, and there, to intercept the Thunderbird. Benny already earning his paycheck.
Absolutely. He's done so much work just in this game already. We're not even 8 minutes in yet.
No, and already we're seeing the caliber of play.
Whoops.
Benny has
Thought we had a minion in there.
Going in onto Pro-E as XB does fall. 2 quick kills at the back of the tornado. That Hissy Fit did absolutely nothing.
The metamorphosis
My bad.
into the death's embrace.
It's not fair.
No, that's the kind of team play that only JT can work out. I believe actually Death's Embrace may have landed first. We'll get another look at it. There's XB. Oh, that's perfect timing.
In perfect unison.
Yuzon just tagging it right as the metamorphosis comes through, so he's stunned and
An
changed.
ally has been
That's all they
defeated.
need to secure the kill. See XB hyper mobile on that 2-on. When you're not too mobile, you're inside of a metamorphosis and a Death's Embrace. Not a whole lot you can do about that. I think that ability name speaks for itself.
JT absolutely powering the early game here. Still a pretty minor gold lead though. See flash to work back. Critically if Neil overextends like that.
Indeed. Nice job there from ADC. Pull back into the rest of his team, baiting into the Tornado. Gao is trying to find the flank as ADC does live. That was an uncharacteristic misplay from Neil. He just got way too overconfident.
He would have gotten the kill. It was good, but Dakoi was there. And Dakoi finally did extra damage from the side lane. The snipe came through. And magically, Neil had 30% less HP than he thought he did. That's responsible for both of Neil's major deaths this game.
Feeling a little bit too confident in what his ability to do. And that's something obviously you see this. Players are playing particularly well. Once they've had long games and series particularly, they start to get this idea of how far they can push these characters.
I am but a drifting shape.
He's not 6-stat yet by any means.
We should clean this up.
Yeah, but they're repeatedly targeting the end of
3 for 2.
every time he comes out of Tornado, Dakoi is able to predict his
Oh, Jordan wasn't even there.
nail him with a snipe.
That is incredibly hard to do. Goes to show that they know
There we go.
exactly how that hero functions and then how to counter him in the mid though.
Enemy has been defeated.
Essence of the win from Benny. Isn't he physically there to block it? Just his near presence on the screen is enough to keep his teammates alive. The timing on that is absolutely flawless.
Let's get Darkslayer.
Comes out from JT from jungle. Team Flash.
That was the support item Essence of the Wind, which gives a shield to
Where
the
will
lowest
this
HP
journey
member in your area if you press the button at the right time. And because he had that ready,
team has
because he pressed
destroyed
the button
a tower.
perfectly, then he was able to save his ally from the Thunderbird of XP, which should have killed him.
It would would have indeed. I love the addition of these activatable items, giving that additional utility for the players.
Neil now are rotating very aggressively from the bottom side of the jungle because they know if they get way too deep, it's going to be very hard for the other team to deny their ability. So aggressive across the map right now is because they want to force Team Flash to take a fight defensively, like they're doing now against Wins, and then turn that into an Abyssal.
That's exactly what they're looking to do. That's why he's slipping so far forward in the top lane. He's trying to bait out the attention of Team Flash, trying to bait out the overcommittal on that engage.
Why can't I have nice things?
Careful, into the danger zone.
GDC enters in, dragging Star quite low. There's the hitting bit as well.
Too far in. Benny to split the fight once again. Every single time the tree takes root, results in a kill.
XP and Decoy both looking for chip damage. That Sage Golem will reset. Yuzon still makes away with it.
Nicely done there as Wins is pushed back in the mid. There's the committal though with the Metamorphosis.
The Metamorphosis gives momentary CC immunity, and in that time, in those frames, Gal easily able to land his pushback on the Superman.
Oh, that was absolutely wild. Yeah, for the big cooldown. But surviving.
GG.
Utilizing that perfectly, getting the initial chip damage. Keeping alive. So important.
Smacking some booty.
Win. Objectives to go for.
I think Wins is the man of my dreams. Literally everything he's done so far has been perfect.
His play has been pretty flawless. He has stepped
That was much better, yes.
Every single hero he plays, he complimented.
Our Riomo wasn't 0-5 though to start the game. I don't know what he ended up last game, but
his decisions are so on point. But now up in the top lane, Yuzon, let's be careful.
I think Rioma's probably my favorite right now.
Will respond to that.
Rioma, Zuka, Irie,
The second they get a fight insured up top.
No.
They can find a
and
response
Raz,
down
but
bottom with this Abyssal Dragon.
You're not allowed to do that, Yuzon. That's not. You don't 1v4 and get the kill while your team simultaneously takes the Abyssal Dragon.
To be fair, it was only a 1v1. ADC, the only real presence there.
The rest of the team showed up at the end, just time to watch their friend sink into the depths of race.
Gal close zone down bottom, but this is a problem for Team Flash.
I wonder who we're gonna get next. They've been surprising me with who we get.
Gao has a lot of HP to work with, but Benny once again is on that flank. He has the
We guessed like the first 2 or 3, and then we haven't been able to guess one since.
Chopping block. J-Team looking so solid in game number 1.
There isn't enough tank on this Team Flash roster. They're consistently unable to find sustained front line, and especially in response to the double tank of Wins and Benny, they need it. If you have tanky, high HP characters opposing you, you need the ability to keep them at bay whilst the rest of your team does sustain damage. They don't have that. As ADC dives in, he'll do burst, but the rest of the team, J-Team, is doing whatever they please in the meantime.
That was a nice little pickup there onto XB, who went in, had the coagulate, thought he could survive, but not able to escape. Perfect prediction of where he would flash right on back. And in that, all the while, we see a tower fall there in the mid, exposing the last of the high grounds here as Team Flash is in full retreat.
Damn, Flash don't even have a tower down in their favor.
Neil, still farming. Got Loki's curse pretty early on, and then he's built into just full magic damage. Hecate's Diadem, Apocalypse, and Rhea's Blessing.
He's gonna have that magic pierce as well. It's oh so nice to have. Ripping through any defense that'd be going his way. That's exactly how he wants to function in this scenario.
That's one of the things about Zil, because he functions off of magic damage scaling, he's able to function in the late game. Whereas very many assassin characters like ADC struggle to do exactly that. Because he's playing Kriknak, he's not going to be able to find the big burst he's looking for into the late game.
Because especially every single member of J-Team pretty much is going to have a decent amount of HP. Much HP.
When we make Brookside chocolates, we don't use a mold.
Whoops. That was loud.
More sustained damage over the course of the fights. I think that's their only real hope of chipping through the high HP tanks. The problem is if it gets close enough to do
I'm thinking about getting Smash Brothers. I bought Red Dead Redemption. I'm thinking about getting Super Smash as well. I just refreshed my webpage and it played an ad.
You see a few key items coming online for Decoy. He's doing pretty well. He's going to be doing quite a lot of damage, but is it enough? That's the big question, because the second the team goes and splits, You've got Star on the flank to isolate, and you've got a Tornado just ripping them all apart. And they can do that because there's so little HP on the side of Team Flash to work with.
Now, quite a few gold behind as well from mid-game. Hitting Flash hard. That means JT feel comfortable leaving Benny to zone and setting the rest of the team to go get Dark Slayer.
We are, however, getting to the late game now. 16-minute mark. This is Dark Slayer.
Is it worth the money? Okay.
So we have opportunities for
See
both
if I
sides.
have.
The opportunity to crack the high ground for JT, but also
It'll
the
probably take
opportunity
forever to
for
download,
these
too.
items to come online for Team Flash for them to find this late game activation.
They need to survive this Dark Slayer push, though. As we saw on the stat screen, JT rarely need more than one.
Yeah, very rarely need more than one. Averaging only 0.7 of these a game. And now have 2 dragons as well to their name, which has leveraged them into quite a gold lead here. 8K ahead of their opponents in Team Flash.
For anyone new, if JT
No.
the high ground towers, that's the
It's gonna give me Slim's jungle.
Then super minions, very tanky minions, will begin working down each
I
lane.
played
They
like
need
an old
constant game
Smash
of
on
defense,
Nintendo
otherwise
64.
the super minions
I
will
think I
be
might have played the
core.
GameCube one.
Will take the game by themselves.
Yes, they can very
Not really,
well
though.
do that. They are so tough to deal with. And once this high ground tower falls, it constantly means that your team has to play defense in that lane.
And I would have
try and
to-
shut them down, which severely impacts your macro. And now with JT pushing with the strength, they're trying to do just that. They want to crack the base.
Good arrival from the Drake minions as well. They get half HP on the tower, but not much more.
Star will take a little bit of damage there from that Thunderbird, but the high ground tower does fall. Solid hold for Team Flash now. But then on the other side, Omen is
Delete
still
Zelda to play it.
all
I don't want
of
to do
this.
that.
5 members in mid for JT. They want to go for the push.
Gao is going in, charging under the hissy fit, but they do have the disengage on the back of Nature's Realm, as well as Wynn's going the Metamorphosis. Nice hold, though. Gao is there on the flank, finding Neil. ADC is there, but he's trapped in from the depths. Embrace. Gao tries to follow up, but no! Instantly annihilated the second he steps a toe out of line.
ADC oversteps and the punish is instant. Now Huzon wants to work away at the bot tower. They need a trade, and Team Flash can't get it as JT crack the high ground.
It looks fun, though.
Creating too many threats and not enough answers. Team
I'd probably
Flash are
enjoy
down
it.
a high ground tower. That was a lose situation. Benny maybe a little bit too far back with that Nature's Realm, and Yuzon might be paying for it, but still, this high ground tower is under so much threat as once again the Tornado goes in, and he gets one. He can't find the other, but still, the base is under threat.
3 kills picked up. Team Flash have only 2 members to defend as their high grounds crumble. And game 1 looks to go to JT.
They are going to back out now. Enough damage has been done that they don't feel comfortable taking this. But that's about a third HP on 1 remaining high ground tower. And let's be honest, this is going to be tough for Team Flash to come back.
Not impossible for Team Flash, though.
No.
Because Team Flash, 1, have brought back games from being behind multiple high ground towers.
Same team again, basically.
Team Flash are catching up in
Welcome
gold.
to
We
Arena
talk about
of
this
Valor.
concept, 6 stacking. Team Flash,
Get
or
ready.
sorry, JT, are so
Minions
far ahead that they're basically
5
maxed out how much
seconds.
gold they have. Oh my goodness.
So loud.
ADC does actually secure this, they get that, but ADC and crew have taken so much damage to the back of the Nature's Realm.
Just going
I haven't played Slim in forever.
They need to try and clear this minion wave. I think Wins might actually be able to do this. They're going in, they've cleared the wave, and Wins is getting solo. They hold on!
My goodness! Barely do they save their core. Wins, even though the respawn can't do it. Now it's a 4v5. JT
What a team we have.
going for this push, and I don't think that's the right play at all.
In a moment, we had Benny almost solo an entire team with the Nature's Realm on that Raging Missile Dragon.
Am I getting here? Oh, I fucked up my clear.
High ground tower does fall the cores, and there's so much threat. And TJ, that's just gonna be it. That's just gonna
Game
be
1,
GG.
16-6. That was
Yuzon
convincing.
does it back to the core. J-Team take game number 1.
Far more dangerous than it had to be. J-Team had a messy final few moments as Team Flash started to begin to come back.
Was it really, TJ? They hadn't lost a single tower.
Oh, yeah.
Doing more than half damage to the enemy's core. That was the no-risk play.
I would agree with you were it not for yesterday. The entire early game went dominantly in favor of JT. That was the cleanest game we've seen to date. And then things started to get dicey. And I'm going to call it AHQ PTSD because I like all those letters in one line. Nice. And that is, do you really trust yourself
Relax.
winning
You can
hyper
totally
late game
trust me.
against Team Flash? Regardless of how many high grounds you have, regardless of how well the game is going, I don't think you can reliably say that you can win that game.
Into this draft, though, they might have been able to. The Pitu drops off, Quick drops off, the Alice drops off.
Maybe.
I
Flash
feel
are
like
scary.
Yeah, Team Flash are scary. Looking at these stat screens, that's a whole lot of no deaths. Over on the side of J-Team is Yuzon
Slims,
and
at
Star,
your
both come out
service.
without dropping a single death themselves. Whereas on the other side, only Datcoy was able to keep himself alive.
ADC notably underperforming. We kind of talked about this during the game. It felt like
Slims out.
didn't have a front line. They were relying on ADC to initiate, and it was brilliant, spending the drone drop, finding a big burst of damage. But against so many tanks, against Fenian wins, that's not enough. You can't burst them down with any individual or even most duos. And as
It was weird. It like hit her as she teleported away.
ADC would just melt, and then they would be able to roll up everyone else.
You gotta roll with the punches, son.
If they didn't, they'd die.
Well, he did take a decent amount of damage. Datcoy didn't deal with these smokes. The biggest issue here is that the Alice almost out DPS the Cricknack. That's a problem, because as you mentioned, he had no one to tank the damage for him. He went in, all of J-Teams had a Tornado didn't get popped, and he was
Nothing
shredded.
personal.
There's not a chance. They squashed the bug every single time he walked in.
Would say the high damage dealt by Robbie is a sign of how well the team was coordinated. Because much of that damage is going to be generated by the hit.
Fire at will!
It's going to be aiding in these fights. It's going to be assisting his allies as well as doing the damage himself.
And the fact that he did so much damage is a sign that the rest which lines up anecdotally with what I was seeing in the game. Because if they can repeatedly generate...
Really, that health saved him.
On top of the hit, then XP will thrive. We did see XP do equivalent damage to the back line.
Relax! You can totally trust me.
It's ideal. The problem with this game was just that they didn't
That little bit of health saved them from my last spear. I'm 0-0-0 right now. Best jungle NA.
Do you think they're still in this set?
Oh, it's game number 1 of potential 7, TJ. They're definitely still in this set.
Slims, at your service.
Basically a packed house there. Thailand. You know that these fans are oh so excited. The region's great.
They would be crazy to be excited.
Grand Finals, TJ.
Grand Finals of the AIC. Now, changes coming into this next game.
Yarn.
I would go out and say that this is going to go back to Team Flash because J-Team showed some weaknesses during the late game that I didn't especially like seeing. Most notably, they never really had enough zone onto Datcoy. Now, that's difficult because Datcoy has more range than any other character in the game, but he should not be able to steal multiple major objectives. And ADC was able to yank away that final abyssal. The other thing I didn't really like was how uncoordinated the late game team fights were, and it still worked out because JT fundamentally would win these team fights because of the composition imbalance I talked about earlier.
Every time I rotate to the top jungle, I need to, till they come up there, I need to go down to bot or mid. Sorry, Alice. Sorry, Hillary.
If that gold is on par, I think the ability to
totally trust me
is almost unmatched.
Well, I mean, clearly there's some matching that's going on because the team fights came out here in this game and they were going heavily in favor of J-Team. That being said, they had so much more HP to work with. It's moments like that, though, that Death's Embrace on the Cricknack, not allowing him to get out after that drone drop. Those are the moments that secured the fights in favor of J-Team.
Yeah, we had an early game combo balance that meant because J-Team outtracted their opponents, they were always going to win these early game fights.
Butterfly coming bot.
Enemies missing. 4 kills instantly and just outscale everything. Then we get to late game, and we started to see...
Sorry, real quick. He missed one auto. He missed the and he actually missed one of the basic attacks. That was literally...
Oh, that's why.
Sorry. Thought I'd point that out. That was
I've been playing so many melee heroes. I'm like, why is this not working?
Yeah, exactly. Just lying there on the street, you know?
Your team has destroyed a tower.
That's not the first time that's happened. Alright, rally on this with me.
Very highly coveted prize right there. Because that's custom members we're talking about going into the next game. However, if these games at all this week haven't taught us anything, it's the Team Flash will come back. That's what we've been seeing. That is what the whole story is. The fact that one team goes down, and the next time around, the team steps right back up.
But rather than base it on foolish superstition,
no.
An ancient religion, I'm gonna base it off of Europe. Because...
No!
Well, two left now on the red side.
Just get out of there, Yorn. What are you doing?
Now have the benefit, I think, of seeing what went wrong game number 1. Because
What are you
game number 1
Get out of there, man. You're so dead.
They now know J-Team, unlike yesterday, and unlike AHQ, are entirely capable of winning early game if they have the competition for it. That needs to be respected.
That butterfly is gonna eat you alive, dude.
We are open for business.
To build a composition that will enable them to succeed in the early game. J-Team, if they're playing responsibly,
Duh.
by not going as hard into side lane, you want wins to be able to do damage this next game. I would agree. We're looking for this right now.
An enemy has been defeated.
The Elsu does get left
Double
through.
kill.
Yuzon will be the first
Slims, at your service.
Looking towards that Elsu. It's probably going to be played by Wins.
Yep.
And I think one of the big things about this Elsu
Your
is we
tower
just
has
saw
been destroyed.
except for Team Flash.
It wasn't
tower
the
has
Elsu.
been
It was because they didn't have frontline
Business,
damage.
nothing personal.
Okay. I was going to make a whole point about how if J-Team can pick the hero and then win with it, how much that statement piece that is. Then also, I don't know.
Everything's missing, Yarn.
That's a better pick.
That's why worry about changing up and trying creative new things?
Time to collect.
You have defeated an enemy.
Plug your mic.
Alright, it's good to be back now that I changed my aim. I'm not attacking the nearest fucking target. That was pissing me off.
On the red side, of course, having a better
For your thoughts.
for every team. Omen, Lily, XB was not feeling as good. Like, he did not like getting banned out of his picks that game. No, not even a little.
Slims out.
Banned by them. Liliana pick is going to be Storm probably diving a little bit deeper.
Double kill.
We've seen him play two limitations down. Hopefully this might be his counter.
Triple kill.
Can we? Can we? Can we? Can we?
Punches, son.
Like the most likely of those options actually because of the dive potential. Yep.
No! You cocksucker.
They're able to get out ahead. Does very well. I will say actually succeeds
I thought I had that for sure.
you'll see this in the Liliana matchup because it's actually the cycle from blinding light boom into it. And you
Slims,
exactly
at
where
your
the flash
service. Time to collect.
Very clear counterplay to that question. The response, of course, is you have to not be in the middle with.
Yorn, go to this lane. Get that, dude.
Escape. So this flash pick is sort of interesting. Unless they feed work with the Zil.
Strictly business, nothing personal.
Interesting. They ban up the counter and then they ban up the hero itself. So
No, dude.
they pick the counter ban.
Don't take my stacks, please.
frontline sustain unit. No tanks. Slightly better HP on the Omen, but you can't rely on the Omen to be probably yeah, you can't rely on it to be tanks. And I think
Can we try again? No, bad. Mistakes are made. Mistakes are made. Way too aggressive. We should still win this, though.
and that will
enemy
give
has
them the
been
tank they need.
defeated.
Everything else equal. I don't really need another tank. Benny's that
So I'm just too far behind to try and to clean everyone up.
tank going his way.
I'd be surprised to see the Malik banned out here as the last pickup. If the Zennial is denied for Team Flash, Malik getting out of there for J-Team, denying the additional tank that you mentioned. Omen Malik is a pretty solid combo in its own right. However, they might look towards a side lane marksman here potentially as well, and it is. Maybe that, to be honest, that's the other option for sure. Thinking that Team Flash is going to be content with this tank.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
Like, it could also reflect Domino on that support role if they want to have a little bit of additional health, which could be pretty darn good into this Flash.
Yeah, the Mino works alright into Flash. When you can flicker and then you actually double
Enemies missing.
Penny for your thoughts.
which is pretty good. Proe, though, I think personally he's going to go for some. Are they really getting Kelson at that point in this match against a Flash? Interesting.
Well, first, others then went for fresh. Proe's fresh.
You have defeated an enemy.
But why
Double kill.
Now that's a win.
I don't know, TJ.
Onslaught.
I really
with the
don't know,
punches,
TJ.
son.
backline
Enemy double
does
kill.
not charge down? And the Flash should be on
Your
paper
team has
the
destroyed a
an
tower.
obvious tool for rushing down. I
Your
could
has
the
destroyed a
matchup working
tower.
the other way, though. The Flash, like, the longest dash in the game is very, very strong. But the
If you don't know why I did that, I went in so that the minion wouldn't die right away. So that we could continue to push.
Yes, can't predict that. There's been so many hovers now. Malik in there, Roth in there. I feel
Get him.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
Probably not like that.
Slims out.
Here, no issues. Very squishy again. Very squishy against Team Flash. Somewhat squishier now. Onto the side for JT. Many more targets for the Celtics.
No, I got him though. Smash is worth it, but online is shit at the moment. Why is online shit at the moment?
And actually, so here's why I assume it would be.
Because I'd love to keep playing this, but I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to be around for.
On paper, that's very, very bad because the Zill is very, very
An
good at
ally
rotating
has
up
been
and picking up
defeated.
individual isolated players.
If Bennett is
Enemy double kill.
that is his home. Roots. It's going to be an arboretum.
Win.
Amazing.
Okay. I'm a little bit kind of struggling to see. Maybe the idea is
GG.
Lentis for late game,
Friends. Mate's let my dog out.
the advantage of the Flash will spike mid game.
Quad kill. Those 2 quad kills, wasn't it? I should have got a fucking Mega there. That pissed me off.
Because if you're even or behind,
I need to let my dog out.
Flash doesn't really have the damage potential to seriously threaten any of the squishy characters even towards late game. But if you're out ahead dominantly, well, like every character, the Flash is lethal. The Flash especially so because of the mobility attached to his kit.
See if that's going to play a big factor here. Once again, Team Flash drafting a pretty light composition. Not as much HP to work with, but there are many more targets for the Elsu this time around. They're going to have a great opportunity to rip right on through if given the potential to do so. We're going to keep an eye on this Elsu to get into game number 2. This is the opportunity for J-Team to go 2-0.
Team Flash looking for an opportunity to return this set to equality. And they have an opportunity, I think, mostly off of their Elsu. The Elsu needs to be the step up. I said they lost game number 1 because they didn't have tanks. They still really kind of don't.
Yeah, they don't really have that at their disposal right now, as Pro-E might have stepped a little bit too far forward, already forced out that flicker. Half damage dealt. That was a really nice little opening there from J-Team. Not really accomplishing anything as well. Was Pro-E there. He's used to playing these tankier picks. You get crushed all day long. Can't do that with the Annette.
He survives though. The self-heal of the Annette will constantly keep him up. One way that these lighter weight compositions, I outlined the problem you have with sustain large HP characters into burst damage characters. The one way the burst damage from Team Flash can win is if they win this early game.
Yes.
If ADC in particular will do pretty well even into the late game because he's a magic damage character, Zill will be able to win against late game tanks if he's able to trade 1-1. But it has to be perfect mechanics, it has to be an isolated 1v1.
Yes, it does. And we're seeing now, I mean, the 1v1s aren't going to happen as much at this high of a level, though that's part of the issue. So already we're seeing, though, some nice times being landed by Dan Coy onto Wins in that side lane. Wins, though, still doing just fine here as both teams continue to farm things out. A slight advantage here for Team Flash. We're just a little bit further ahead in each of their individual 1v1 matchups. They're doing a pretty good job in these lanes so far. They seem to be winning across the board.
I have to say, Team Flash, I still do believe in their team fighting, more so than J-Team. Not because J-Team are bad at team fighting, because Team Flash are so good, and they do have a really good composition to burst down individual members if they can find key targets. Datcoy is a major part of that. If he's able to play from a distance and just rain in snipes, the team can engage. You send an ADC, you send an XP, the second you lock down a target, the snipe comes through. Datcoy has proven that he's awfully good at that.
He is indeed, and that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on here because he finds angles, he finds these shots from places that you never would expect them to come from. That's part of his prowess on this hero. Wins doing a fairly good job, though, of matching up against him. But up in this top lane, this Lubo is struggling into this Omen here. Gao is doing such a good job on this hero.
Typically, Luba is considered a decent play into Omen because they both are sustained-focused characters, but Conqueror outlasts the passive lifesteal from Omen.
Yes, that is going to be a key difference here in these 1v1 fights, but Omen does such a good job of just clearing out these minion waves. And in the mid, Betty now being caught out by that exact Omen in a rough spot right now. He gets picked off with the help of XB. That's our first blood going to Team Flash.
That's what I was talking about with individual isolated picks. Team Flash will win any fight where they chain somebody down. That's why the Omen is a pretty good pick into this composition, as well as the Annette. Both give tools to isolate players.
Neil goes in, snipes out the Tornado to try and follow up onto him, taking a lot of damage. He is going to get picked up nicely from ADC. Star, a weird Cyclone in the back of that. They snipe out the Dragon. Team Flash gets the kill.
That will still leave Team Flash with gold overall. This was kind of weird and kind of, again, a side effect of not really having any tanks. They couldn't have anyone forward to zone against Neil.
Yeah, that was really a weird situation right there. Oh, nice little slow there from Benny as well.
Normal teams will play somebody a little bit more tanky so that when you're going for a major objective like an Abyssal Dragon, you have the vision that they grant, and by virtue of being a threat in terms of stuns and setup, players don't go near them. So you can keep that from happening by scaring Neil away with a tank. They don't have that. Oh my lord, he did just steal that.
Yep.
And sorry.
What a mean person.
That tank player zoning just completely broke my train of thought. But again, they're not face-checking bushes, they're not zoning very aggressively because Team Flash are afraid of playing aggressive because they don't have any tanks.
They don't. I mean, again, neither side really have a lot of tankiness to work with. There's the Beneth coming in here for J-Team. That's really all the HP they have to work with. Yuzon can be somewhat tanky.
Neil as well. Neil operated as the front line for the roster during that last set versus AHQ.
But it really didn't come online until the hard into the mid-game, though.
Absolutely.
Here at the stage of the game, he is still quite squishy.
He needs Leviathan, his jungle item, to be fully upped before he can really do that. And he's still currently sitting at Null Cleaver.
Going in now up top, the fight is very real. Yuzon actually getting back into the bush. The Hurricane right back in as ADC is actually still alive. A little bit of a miscalculation there as the wind goes pull them together. This is a disastrous fight for J-Team as we do have Star.
ADC flickering over Star's dive, and now Gal almost grabs Benny.
Both players thought they'd killed him.
Okay, I need to catch up on this chat.
On the next pick.
Wins. Barely gets
I'll probably get smashed.
Oh, that was so close. This is now all on Star. Can he make this happen? No, he's overextended. Maybe just a little bit too much. They're not going to be able to pick him up, but that was him looking a little bit desperate. This is Team Flash looking good.
Like I said, the problem is these team fights. Team Flash, if they can find isolated
lag would suck on a game like that.
The team fights J-Team win revolve around Benny, and we didn't really see Benny contribute to that fight until the end of it, when he arrived and tried to stabilize off of Nature's Realm.
Yeah, this fight's when J-Team can start the fight and zone the fight.
I always like, I don't know, I like competitive gaming, and I like competitive gaming in the most fair environment.
Operating kind of as the tank here, and
so, I mean, I'm not a big fighting game fan in general to begin with, but Smash looks fun. And I would only play Smash for fun, probably.
That's what I was talking about with Neil operating as a secondary tank. Sure, Benny dies, but they still have somebody who can trade the engagement.
They do indeed. So a nice little stabilization move there from J-Team. As now we look up towards the top lane, it's actually Lubu who's cutting wave, and now a tower going in favor of J-Team.
Fun little mechanics happening there, and you'll see this
nice wave cut.
Over. There's a game with the Flash's Cyclone. The Cyclone ends, it drags everyone.
Fuck, I kind of want to play Zephyrus again. I started out like 8-0 last time I played Zephyrus. We just had the shitty teammates that weren't on the same page.
They will always find the kill onto you because of it. However, Team Flash were very carefully able to flicker out of it several times, and most of the players here.
Yeah, I never play fighting games in general.
Where they try and wait till the last possible moment.
The closest thing that I would have played would have been Awesome Knots, and it's not really a fighting game. It is, but it's not.
And he'll flicker after them in Cyclone, chasing
it's an objective-based fighting, 2D fighting game.
So they need to wait till the last possible moment and flicker out of the Cyclone just as it's ending.
This is a very interesting kind of little 1v1 mechanical mind game, the duel.
Well, that's just when he catches 2-3 members, and they all dive in different directions in the very last moment.
It's like, take your pick here. It's whack-a-mole.
Well, sniper-mole happening in the top lane. That coin rotated.
Yeah, I do. I love MOBAs as well. MOBAs are my jam.
Speaking of Lindis, though, Wynn's getting caught out now by Gao. He's trying to run away, no success.
Your heroes in 3 square meters are
Gao has him to Lindis. Yeah, now they do. That's Gao having a much easier time there. The threat of ADC on the flank here. This Zill already doing so much work. Look at the items he's got to his name.
Did you see those wind blades over the super speed marker right at the time?
Dude, that one was so fun. I think about that one actually quite a bit. I wish they would do a third-person version of that, like Paragon. That would be so fun.
Very, very close there. Kind of interactions.
Like it wasn't balanced and it wasn't. They didn't support it, but it was fun as fuck. Like it could have been really good. It had a lot of characters.
Every single interaction between every single character functions, and know how to exploit it.
And yeah, if done well, it just hypes up Lord of the Rings even more. The whole history and everything of Lord of the Rings.
Already burned the death from above. Not too much damage done here.
Once death from above fades, he's significantly less threatening, and Gao could probably.
I didn't play it as much as I wanted to, but
not in a 1v1 situation now.
Because most of the time I wouldn't get the game against other people. I didn't start playing MOBAs until like I played Smite a little bit before Paragon, and then
they're now up 3-0 though, where they've lost
basically Paragon.
Picked up an overall map
some Hyper Universe.
Benny going up against 2. Wins is here on the flank.
Awesome nods in this.
Wins nicely done with
and
the
I watch League.
But Benny maybe a little bit wasting that Nature's Realm.
I watch League competitive stuff and like Smite Worlds. I like to watch those too.
So many flickers and dodges were used just to get out from his threat. Now they're going to be able to push forward off the back of it.
They will indeed. They're going in now, trying to find Datko in the back with a hurricane wall. The pushback, Benny, the tornado is there, and he will not be able to pick it up. He will be able to flicker back.
How did you get to safety? He does manage to survive. Now Neil goes in. The tower will survive.
Tower hold for now, but Wins is here. Both teams almost losing key members, but Pro, we might have stayed just a little bit too long.
We have one carry. Right. We have damage one.
Jungle damage as well. That's going to be Team Flash's economy really suffering now, especially as this Dark Slayer is about to be picked up.
Gold lead has now shifted in favor of J-Team. Dark Slayer is under threat. Wins getting vision as well with those entrapments chunking on through this Dark Slayer. There is not a hope that Team Flash can contest this, especially with Benny down there scouting out this dragon.
10-minute mark. This is hypothetical. Oh, that's rude.
Oh, so rude.
That is disgusting.
Don't do it. Oh, he pins him in place so he can take his tower, and then he just runs away. Red Stallion will be here. We'll try.
This game is looking a little better for Flash at least. 6-3 so far.
Rush as well. The back of the Nature's Realm.
Stop. Don't play melee 1v3 against an Omen because he just gets stronger thanks to lifesteal.
You guys don't want to do this.
Cheeky. That was so cheeky.
Using the dance embrace not to take a fight, but to dodge. I thought initially it was just to get Conqueror off of Yuzon. He does get Yuzon activated.
I kept thinking I was Irie there for a second, and I had another dash.
Doesn't worry about it.
Fuck.
But now we look at these high level plays, these mind games going in now. Through all of it, still see.
I was like, yeah, I'll just poke him again once more and then dash back, and then whoops.
Super solid.
And now they do have a 3,000 gold lead. But it should be noted, this is about peak JT. 10 to 15 minutes is when their team composition is going to be at its strongest. If Team Flash again last time for late game, I do think they win.
I'm not. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one for sure. Both teams have the potential to go super hard in the late game underneath the tower.
Wait for them to.
Nature's Realm goes on in, actually pushing him to further help the team. Pro-E, no, that was not the play. He pays for it with his life, but that almost helped lock down the Omen even further.
It was a strange play because it did separate Benny from the rest of the roster. It wasn't great. ADC
goes in, tries to find the reinitiation onto Neo. Gao is now chasing. Has the death sim. Oh no, going in. Star takes the snipe that would have gotten it. The death beacon does not connect. I cannot believe every member of JT.
No, I didn't get her.
Away from that.
They walk away, they run away, and will be recalled. Gao and the rest of the team
Get off her.
hold their high ground. But that hurt.
Oh, he's got disrupt.
Pure skill play. That was an outplay from
I tried.
here. You know, that's gotta start to
His
wear
disrupt
on
had to
the
have just
team
come
flash.
out.
You look at that and you go, how did they just live? We're thinking it. You know they're thinking it too. That's when you're shaking your head and going, I can do better than that.
Heartbreaking because of the communication required to do it. JT functioning beautifully as a team right now. Star super speed in from across the map the second they saw that Tracer come in from the sniper. In that one instance, they thought there's no reason for me not to be using the Tracer from the sniper right now because they can guarantee that both players are low. And yet, the second they see the Tracer,
can't fight on an empty stomach.
ability to dodge, not really much they can do about it, but they say, hey, you super speed across the map and need the sniper.
An ally has been defeated.
Help, I need help. But he's
Rip
like,
Jenner.
I got you, fam. He goes on in, he tanks the shot. I mean, every single one of these team members is literally willing to take a bullet
Well met,
for their
friend.
teammate.
As they well should be. Yeah.
Beware of
ADC
the
and Gal
brush.
are kind of the shining lights in terms of front line for the team. We've seen ADC operate very effectively as a tank in these fights, which is a little bit odd, but ADC has the most high frames of any character in the game. He's the most in
Did I turn off the stove?
That's go on in, flickering, flashing around, dealing damage across the board. It's impossible to hit him in that situation.
An enemy has been defeated.
Commit onto him. They need to be absolutely sure they can execute it.
You have
Beat them out
defeated
so
an
easily.
enemy.
Or vice versa, I should say.
Got him.
JT.
We've seen that boy is another key player. We've seen him doing some decent damage, but we've yet to see him be able to sustain through a fight. And that's kind of where
An
Elsu, I
enemy
feel,
has
comes
been
online, when Elsu
defeated.
is able to just walk through a
Food
fight and
now.
end it.
Battle later.
And that's really that moment where he lands a snipe, he lands a second, he hits his ult, and just starts auto-attacking. The team was just shredded at that point, ripped apart in terms of the health bars. But on the retreat from that high ground push, J-Team cleared out the entire jungle of Team Flash, and I was doing the same on their own.
Damn,
I
he's
can't
zooming
fight on
around.
an empty
Literally the
stomach.
only thing that Team Flash has to farm.
Your team
Yuzon
has
is still not letting
destroyed
him
a
do that.
tower.
Echo is farming Benny. I know what you're talking about.
How that works. 6 kills to 5, a very low kill game. This would be kind of the tenet of these last games here in the AIC. Both teams play so conservatively.
I do feel if we're sub 10 kills, that's a very good sign for JT. Because JT don't really like to take too many team fights.
I didn't get an assist for that. What?
Well met, friend.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
They only take fights they're sure they can win, and I do worry.
Bad
they
call,
might just
game.
expire
Bad call.
on their timer. Like I said, Team Flash will win
Your
this
tower
super
has
late
been
game if they get there.
destroyed.
Last game they didn't. This game they've held on to all their
Your
high
team
ground to
has
be 15
destroyed a
minutes.
tower.
I think the crucial marker here is
Did I turn off the stove?
He only has 3 major items online right now, but the gold is still
This was
not an insurmountable difference, but J-Team definitely has the advantage.
Yep, Team Flash can't really press for a full 5-5 team fight. We're going to need to look for 5-4 at the very least.
Never stray from the path to
Somebody
enlightenment.
else looking at you. Yuzon is off split pushing elsewhere. He started up the Dark Slayer from J-Team, but not wanting to overcommit. Is that just baiting in the rest of the team, allowing all the lanes to get pushed out in their favor. Yuzon's being very cautious. He does not want to overextend. He's got the amount of ability, the amount of survivability. He can't take a 1v4.
He's trying to 1v1 this Dark Slayer.
I can't fight on an empty stomach.
Our friends, they're just trading it out. Having fun.
An enemy has been
Let that reset.
defeated.
They don't want it to.
Yeah, it was not on purpose.
But if they pick up the Dark Slayer, they're almost guaranteed the high ground. Apparently, J-Team need 2 Dark Slayers in the game. Team Flash, though, in contrast
Food
to
now.
last game, are hit
Battle
points. They
later.
can absolutely take a viable, winnable team fight against them
An
if they go
ally
for a
has
fight.
been
If they go for a
defeated.
fight.
Get that.
So,
Drag on.
J-Team need to play this very carefully right now. Even with the Dark Slayer, the mandate to take a fight, they need to make the most intense fight possible and use the Dark Slayer cleverly.
Shoot. Did I turn off the
I'm looking at the auto
stove?
attacks coming through from that boy at this point. He's actually chonking through Benny. He is starting to hit oh so hard. Your loss at that first pick. That here just does so much work.
Yeah, particularly with Fenrir's Tooth in the later end of the build.
Never stray from the path to enlightenment.
Because Elsu, don't remember if he stands in place, he does extra pierce the longer he's standing in one position. So Datcoin will be doing a tremendous amount if he's defending a tower. Which, spoiler, yes.
Indeed. Now standing Team Flash on the high ground, up into the push of J-Team, and the Drake is being summoned here on the Slayer side of the map. Pressure is here to crash all the waves simultaneously, coordinated now from J-Team. Utilizing the strength to buff up this minion wave and push on through on all sides. This is the hold right now for Team Flash. They want to hold on to their high grounds. These snipes need to be connecting across the board as all three lanes are in trouble. This mid-high ground is already starting to take some damage. Neo is going in. Nicely done from XP. No significant damage going through. There's the Nature's Realm as well, zoning the team out beautifully as Gao is here. This can be the next target. The Death Embrace there, as well as the high ground here up top when the Slayer side is under threat. The rest of the team has to respond to that as Decoy is getting taken down by Star. Simultaneously, all three lanes, J-Team is going off. The high ground in the mid does fall, and all of the team still survives as minions are pushing in onto the core. There's
wow, JT turning around.
Tower is still taking threat as the next wave of minions arrives.
They're gonna win again.
Exactly, and now Team Flash never got to take a full team fight. That is perfect.
That is absolutely huge. A nice pickup though onto Winsu. Does have the ability to respawn. Star survives in the back to all this now. Pro E is the next target. Steel is zoning this out. Their minions here on.
No, I got the stun. I couldn't get my roll off. I got my shield.
They have the HP bars to do with the Nature's
Whatever.
Realm.
We're gonna.
Pushing in this last high
He's
ground.
gonna run
They're
away.
going for the completionist win here, TJ.
They do have all the high grounds down, but all the players slain, and they go for the core.
The minions are doing the work for them. They just want to take this game. J-Team do it. They are up 2-0.
The AIC Grand Finals so far as easy for J-Team as the AIC semi-final.
They are looking so good
Did
right
I turn off
now.
the stove?
This is incredible. They just took down AHQ, and they are now up 2 games over Team Flash, the team that looked
She should not get out of that.
coming into today. What happened the last time these two teams fought?
Well, it feels like we're consistently seeing the beginning of it. We've seen now both games almost go too long.
Almost. They didn't reach that 20-minute mark. At a crucial point, that hyper late game, where we see Team Flash just take back control.
When we got to the 15-minute mark both games, I think, oh no, Team Flash might be able to win these team fights. And then JC, both games, managed to win the game without taking the 5v5. Game number 1, it was off of that Abyssal Dragon tank. Game number 2, it was off of this brilliant split play. Gao in particular got separated and never got back with the team.
I've never seen a crash work that effectively. All 3 waves in perfect,
very nice
unison. Minions were there in every lane, no matter what you had to do. It was a lose situation.
They're up 2-0 right now.
With the Dragon side, do you try to deal with the push you made, and then they have the Bennett there as well, who's zoning out.
Well, I'm watching the rebroadcast, but I didn't watch it
enough damage himself
last
to
night.
start that fight to force 2 players back.
They're up 2-0 in the rebroadcast.
Done anything yet?
And because they're able to do that, it's almost impossible for Team Flash to get the 5-5 fight that they want. This means, again, a failing of this team if they don't quite have...
No, I wanted to go. Fuck that up. I could have killed her with my execute or just with my...
The fact that they
don't kill the fuck out, dude.
These fights is what's costing them. When you have a tank, the enemy team needs to take the fight to the tank and around the tank. We've never seen that particular problem arise for J-Team as every time.
Ooh, let's go. You can't even see my health. That shield.
Yes, they are. And we looked at those stat lines too. We looked at the damage being brought out there.
Ooh, that was intense.
J-Team and every single member was hovering around 20%. Yeah, the split that they had there was wild. There was one number that really stood out to me. It was 40.
That's what I wanted to do in that fight earlier, but I got stunned, so I like twice in a row, so I couldn't use my roll.
Every bit of damage that was sent through that team, he took it. He said, "This is mine now. Not my ally. I like it."
And because Benny's able to do that, I guess he forces his teammates to have to look around him. Of course, he says, "Okay, you're fighting me." And that means they get to dictate the pace of the team fight, how team fights are taken. You get a 1v3 against the Bennett. That's not ideal, to say the least. So, in order to win out, in order to have an answer to that, once the Flash has come up, they can use Matic. They can take that damage.
Got her.
They haven't had a tank. Not really. Yeah, they had Owen in that last game, and that's fine. But they need someone who truly is tanky. They need Pro E back on that crest. So,
what?
I don't even know. I'm looking at this, we wanted more HP.
Come on, guys, really?
We wanted more HP.
You gonna try this shit on me?
Again, so much here. So I think I agree
not
100% that they just need somebody to fill that tank role.
Yeah, so maybe that goes to Pro E. I've actually really kind of liked this team. Isn't that not bad?
Well, he'd one moment where he actually kind of pushed the Ibeneth further.
Always a nitpick. Yes. But with the exception of that one,
Your team has destroyed
they get
a
to
tower.
find moments where
Fight on an empty
we've seen
stomach.
that Annette, we've seen that tank really define Hellfire.
Your tower has been
And
destroyed.
that's not good. And it means that J-Team repeatedly are able to just pick and choose what fights they're going to take. And that's how they're winning these games. When you look at the game, they're 6 kills to 0. That's not bad for J-Team, despite being behind.
They were heading towers. They were heading towers, and when they swung that around, they started to
We've seen one tower by that was in game 1.
No, they took one in that last game. Two towers.
Right on.
Rough sign, to say the least. And
because their macro was what helped define their play.
Well met,
and it
friend.
is, I think, an example of how good at tower pressure the teams are, because they are very, very good at late game, so maybe J-Team winning the early game doesn't especially matter because if Team Flash can get the late game and win 2 team fights, they'll win any.
Food
But
now. Battle
I know that.
later.
Yeah, I know that's hard to stomach but they did do that to AHQ yesterday. But they've yet to get to that late game because they were losing early game so
They
hard.
got to late game, but it's the hyper late game. It's these moments where everybody's 6 stack, no questions asked.
Wow.
We hit the 15-minute mark and Elsa control items.
Flash won every early game.
An enemy has been defeated.
Thought I got the shield.
Number 3. Let's not wait
Missed
any longer.
those.
Let's
Take a
keep
breather.
this
Not
action
quite
rolling.
long
Game
enough.
number 3.
I got the knock up and the kill, but
They are up 3-0. They're only 1 game away.
There's somebody got the kill.
Something needs to change. We talked about the lack of
Killer
HP.
got a
We
quad.
talked about the lack of
And mid.
tankiness and initiation for Team
Your
Flash.
team has
They
destroyed
need
a
to turn this
tower.
around. They need
Where
to
is Thane
stabilize
even?
this series.
he was like, nah. I ain't giving you that mega.
Your team has destroyed a tower.
Been dropped over to that red side.
But it's where they have a higher percent win rate.
Win.
What's going on? I think they know this. They know what's going on. I don't think it's the order that these picks have been picked in. I think it's...
Irie was MVP. Let's go.
It's the problem.
Well, you know, maybe their options, maybe their pool's a bit more open. They've swapped sides. We'll see. It will be the Richter ban coming through for Team Flash right off the bat. That should mandate an Ignis in response now. Team Flash choose. I'd expect them to get rid of Elsu more than anything.
I mean, Irie was the MVP, right?
Yeah,
So,
because they don't play Elsu.
just
too well.
saying.
We've seen it a couple times from wins,
Blue Cat was alright.
and I'd be scared of that.
Yeah, I think the Ibeneth ban is a
I think the
little
Panda's
bit,
cuter,
a bit
though.
of an overreaction. I think if I was J-Team, I'd be all smiles looking at that because, yeah, as good as Benny is on this Ibeneth, put him on Mina, put him on Annette, put him on Alice, he's fine with any of those. As good as that Ibeneth is, that is only partially the reason they're winning. Yeah, the Nature's Realms are huge, but that hasn't been the be-all,
Just caught
end-all
us,
of these
yeah.
fights.
Blue Cat's a Blue Cat.
Valheim coming through. This leaves Elsu still on the cards.
MVP's
This
an
is J-Team
MVP.
agreeing with me. They don't think Team Flash won the Elsu.
I think this is a very smart pickup here because while the Valheim's good, the Valheim's actually, he's been consistent
Should
damage.
be Raz.
I think it should be Raz or Lindis. I think it should be Lindis.
Really? I think getting XB onto a mage he's comfortable on and taking away Star,
That's fair.
like,
Yeah, no,
that's
you're right.
two really good.
Yeah, no, you're right. For the denial as well, 100%. Because ADC can play. Yeah, ADC's Lindis is good, but then you also. So it's a question: do you take that and you deny Star, or do you take the Lindis and deny Neil? Because you're gonna get he's gonna instantly. So it's a question: who do you fear more, Star or Neil?
I think the other consideration you have is ADCs is a little bit more flexible than XP.
Yes.
XP has 2 or 3 characters that he wants to play, not entirely due to his own fault, some partially just due to the character pool of viable mages right now. But he has 2 or 3 mobility characters he wants to play, and we've seen those depths plumbed as he's been forced to play Tulin on both sides. Here, though, it should be the 1-2. Marksman for marksman and jungle, Violet being locked in. The Alice joining.
Interesting. I mean, again,
no tank.
J-Team still have the option to tank up in their support role a little bit here as well. Mina is still available. Looking towards that. Could build something even a bit different here. Or the Annette, which could still be a lightweight. Both could draft a little bit more lightweight here in this side of things. The reason, again, partially that J-Team has done so well is because they've just had that little additional bit of tankiness. It's helped to elevate them and help sustain them in these team fights. They could go onto the Annette here if they so choose, or maybe grab something else, maybe like an Omen. Would not be a questionable pick here at all. I think that might be solid because it would help deal with potential Superman coming out there. There's the tanky support. All right, there it is. All right.
J-Team have constantly thrived off of giving Benny a little bit of extra tank, and that's why I actually really like that Benny ban that came through.
I agree. But I was expecting the Mina in response as well. With that Annette, it was one or the other. I think the Mina is the correct call.
But I think the Mina is much less effective, especially in this matchup versus...
Alright.
I mean... If ADC was still playing melee, this would be devastating, but ADC has swapped over to Violet.
I am my own master.
Potentially see double marksman, which really give Benny a bad time in this lane. The Talanis or something would come out.
For the love of God.
This is going to be the fight of the session.
We want balance.